Big move to the upside here this morning for futures as we get a few interesting data points just coming through here. Weekly jobless claims, initial claims, week over week for last week, 219,000 versus 234,000 expected there. So a little bit of a downtick on a week over week number. The continuing claims number also smaller, 1.82 million versus 1.85 million for ongoing claims in the U.S. last week. So two numbers in a row there to the downside. Coming up a little bit later this morning, some housing data at 10 o'clock. Always an interesting number. Existing home sales for August expected to be 4 million. But yeah, that's what the market looks like right now. What a move here so far pre-market. Huge, 1.6% on the back of what ended up being exactly flat when all was said and done yesterday. I mean, I think we were slightly lower even across the board for major indices coming off the Fed. Yeah, 50 basis point cut comes through, surprising some. I mean, a lot of people were anticipating, I think, something to the tune of 50 basis points, but the market reaction overall initially positive. We give some of that back going into the close yesterday. Lots to consider this morning. Adara beside me this morning, Sharif under the weather. We wish him well. Hope he's back by tomorrow. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Market looking super strong here this morning. I mean, we talked about it in depth yesterday, but so much to say on the simple fact that going into that announcement was the first time in months that we had a Fed decision that was unexpected. We get the bigger of the two options on the rate cuts.
And I think what's interesting, too, is I mentioned this a couple of times yesterday on this desk. Leading up to the decision, we're talking about Wednesday morning, we had quite a few analysts and commentators saying they thought the 50 basis point was not going to happen. Wells Fargo analysts calling it, quote, noise. Jim Bullard, former St. Louis Fed president, saying that it was not going to happen. So I think potentially all of that lead up being like 50 basis points is not going to happen, maybe made that reaction a bit more intense.
Yeah, and first time we saw one of the Fed members actually dissent on voting since 2005, which is significant as well. But at the end of the day, guys, here we are. All-time highs.
Yeah, I mean, so you go down the line here.
I saw that when I was.
You got Bitcoin. You got Bitcoin almost 63. You've got all-time high in the SPY. You got the Nasdaq up a couple of points. A number of names that are up, double digits are going to be pretty big in here today, and the number that are up like 4 or 5% is going to be big as well. So, it's kind of like a blue sky-ish setup in a lot of places. But the one thing that is going to be important, at least for myself when looking at things, is when everything is so strong, if your quote boards are all green, like the only thing red is the VIX right now, and you start thinking about what are the names that you're going to try to consider relatively strong and relatively weak. So one thing I'm going to be looking at very importantly is if we are higher on the futures past the actual rate cut, that you can see those tops, you're breaking back out after giving it back, then to me I like stocks in a couple of groups. What's above the afternoon tops yesterday and what's beneath it? Because if the market's breaking out from after that cut and those tops that we made in the afternoon, then to me, strong stocks should be breaking those levels as well. And if you couldn't get past some of those highs, those are the things that I feel like are not in the relative strength bucket, and I want to steer clear of liking those ones for the long side. So, I mean, obviously, we were looking at IWM yesterday. That's cleared out. It's broken out the top. It's above those highs. Like a lot of things gave it back after the initial push to the upside. But if you're above the highs, then I still like you to that long side. So it's looking pretty good so far. I mean, 2.2% already on the NASDAQ. And like I said, there's really not much that's red. DJT's down a little bit because the lockup expired, though.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, look, yesterday, we already talked about it in the chat here. We've been talking about it for a minute. We talked about the market being up coming into today. It's up. If anybody, took that, 2.2% is huge. Nasdaq's not. It's near its all-time highs. I mean, it's the SPY that we're looking at. It's the Dow Jones. It's gold. We just talked about where Bitcoin's going right now. I like Amazon up 2% today. I think that could continue to go, breaking above the 190. The sticky note's already out. This is going to be one of the bigger plays, hopefully for me today. So I really like Amazon. Nasdaq's at the highs right now, trying to hold it. That's what I want to see, and that's what I put on the sticky note. Sure, we might have made some calls last night and said, buy this dip. But at the end of the day, it's still got to hold, right? So the market's got to open, hold. We have an hour before anything happens here. But I mean, look at Apple. Apple continues to be, 225. Like, let's go. This name just continues to get back up to the upside there. We talked about iPhone and all those reports. You had a dip down into 213, 214, 215. You know, good opportunities to buy. It's $10 in your pocket right now. Trying to break above this 226 area could be an interesting move there for Apple if we can do that as well. So, I mean, lots of stocks to look at. The notes are out. We're ready to rock and roll. It's just another day ending in Y over here.
Yeah, I mean, gold, you mentioned there, Sean, great point. It's had quite the week, never mind, you know, just the past 24 hours, all-time highs as well. Worth noting, Raheem coming up here in a few minutes. We'll get his take on just a wild couple of weeks over in the India equity markets as well. A couple of IPOs, just absolutely insane. He's obviously closely watching mining in general, so I'll ask him about gold as well, maybe. But so much to consider. I mean, Fed Chair Powell did his best, in my opinion, to sound as hawkish as he possibly could. At the end of the day, the market just not buying that. He came out and said, you know, basically, don't get used to 50 basis points as being the new pace, if you will, for how they're going to unwind this. You know, as I said, like he did his best to not talk the market up, but here we are just exploding this morning.
It's interesting, if I remember correctly, the first question he was asked was to the effect of, are we going to continue to see these 50 basis point cuts? So that certainly was something weighing pretty heavily on a lot of people's minds, understandably so, because this cut, while within the range of what was expected, definitely in the higher range of what was expected. So we'll have to see what happens next year, because we have basically what I'm seeing pricing in of more rate cuts than the Fed is actually seeing that they're going to do. So we're going to have to wait and see what unfolds here for sure.
Yeah, and he actually went out of his way multiple times to make the point that they don't feel, they as in the Fed, they don't feel that they're behind the curve as everyone has been suggesting. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I was just reading this morning, Bank of Canada expected to go another 50 basis points here coming up in October. I was just watching Ethereum just popping up in front of me on a scanner, but it's not really doing much so far this morning. That's ETH, Bitcoin, as the guys were mentioning, right back to 63,000. Still kind of in this bull flag, guys, though, as far as the range goes.
I mean, ETH has been lagging a little bit more recently, and obviously Bitcoin is probably what most people are following in crypto land, I think. At least that's a general sense I would get. But look, it's breaking out after that kind of up and down failure. You weren't really failing 60,000 big because that nice 58 level just kept holding over and over again. But the stair step to the upside is there. The good news for this, you don't have to worry about, necessarily any all-time highs, but you do have to get to 65,000 next. So it's been a hot minute. And again, it really hasn't been that long since we were at that 65. But I think that's that first spot where you could run into a little bit of trouble on BTC. And as I was saying, lining up things that are a little bit different from one another. Let's imagine a world in which we're not breaking 65,000 today. I don't think that's any kind of a stretch. So I look at Mara. Mara's up 6 points today. There's no doubting how strong it is, right? Like relatively speaking, that's a good percentage point, but it broke lows yesterday. So you're nowhere, okay, I shouldn't say nowhere near, but you're not at that triple top, which has been holding just underneath $17, like 16.8, then 16.6, and then again in the afternoon, 16.6. So if we break 65,000, this has a breakout. If you never do, you still have a resistance level in play on Mara, that if it cannot take out the top, and this is last Friday's top at 16.7, if it cannot take out that high, then you've got a solid resistance point. There's many stocks that have broken out and shown you that they're clear of the recent resistance and top heavy going into the Fed. And if the stock hasn't done so and we see weakness today, those are the types of names I like for the shorts, because you've got some sellers out on top of you, and they also set up for great breakouts. 65,000 goes. I mean, 16.8 is a pretty easy break, but the first look for me is if we're under 65,000, Mara doesn't break that Friday high from last week, I want to look to fade it. It's a few points away from it, obviously, but I want to have that in the back of my mind in case it gets there.
You know what name has been beat up? I mean, obviously we talk about Mara a lot because of the price of the stock, but for us, I mean, Coinbase, this name, like considering that where Bitcoin actually is right now, down at 63, that's like 63 is not far from 72, the all-time high. This name is not even close Like you're down here at 170. You have 100, 100 points back to the upside to get to sort of where we were in July. Like I feel that this is a very, very dramatic move, and more work needs to be done on why Coinbase is down here. We knew it got the bumping added to various indices and indexes. I like the stock down here. I think it might be worth a nibble if you do think that there's maybe another crypto run coming, and there probably already is one. You might have missed that opportunity, obviously, from that 150 marker. But again, like, wow, there's that push in August 5th, and it did find some support down there at 160. So I'm just wondering if you go long right now, 170, waiting for 160. 160 breaks, you fly. But if not, I mean, that's $10 or so. Let's just say $12 worth of risk for like 30, 40 to here. I like Coinbase for sure moving forward. One thing that we've done a couple times here, we'll do it now. It's only 8:40. We'll wait for Raheem to get in here right now. But this is, we talk about how much money people make here at Real Trading and things like that. This is yesterday's top 10 traders at Real Trading. So we had a New York and a NASDAQ trader, $16,000. So congratulations to that trader. And then next, I mean, it was a big day yesterday, right? I mean, I'm surprised these numbers aren't a little bit higher, to be honest with you. Amex, TSX, so this trader obviously all over the map here with various markets here in the US and Canada. So North American markets, including NYMEX. Good job there. Look at these Vienna traders, man. Someone's figured something out there. So congratulations to those in Vienna. And this is what we talk about. Like, there's traders that sit around and do the same thing every day. And then there's other traders that actually look to do things differently. I bet you that's what that Vienna market's all about. There's someone in Canada and Vienna as well. CME, Chicago, NYMEX, all of that. More TSX love. So good days. Congratulations for those of you that were around here and making some money there. This is what the advantage is of Real Trading, of course. And that's a platform I've been on now for 22 years, able to trade many different markets, many different ways. So make sure you definitely check all that out. Realtrading.com, join the best prop firm in the world. So you'll be able to do that and then join up on all of these markets there. And we just got a little special guest pumping in here on the stage. Mr. Raheem Alani is now in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to ask him a little bit. I'm going to prep him a little bit here. Maybe he can comment on gold. I don't know. Gold breaking out.
Especially after the cut.
Yeah, he's saying no. He's knows nothing about gold. So we'll get to all that kind of talk very soon. But hey, I mean, right on cue, right? We just talked about some of the markets that are popping off here. Canada. More Canadian names here on the top lists for Real Trading. And of course, the Indian market is always popping to new highs. We'll talk about that as well. I don't think we have the Indian market here.
No, we don't yet.
Trading, but yeah, it's a good market. Thanks to Raheem for reminding me of that one. But all right, so let's go. I don't know if we're ready yet. Brennan's they're getting
just setting
here, but
there is a move happening on DJT. So, like I said, the one stock that was actually, you know what? It's not on it should be on my quote board, but it's not. I'm just going to add it. I don't know why I haven't. But the one stock or equity that is down today. Well, I'm sure there's plenty that are down, but the one that most people might be looking at, DJT with the lockup expiration today, down 5 points. It was only down a percent or so, but it just recently sort of broke through $15. So the trend to the downside continues. I don't wonder if it's trying to make a capitulation bottom here early, but lockup expiring. It doesn't mean that Trump is going to sell. It just means that he can sell. And owning over 60%, I guess some people are getting out of the way of this. I paid for locates just in case. My plan of action was to short the pop if it had held this range, because 16 seems so incredibly obvious on this stock. And now we're going to have to adjust that plan. Need to see where it settles down at the open. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious that you could just short it in front of 16 with an obvious, kind of double top in there yesterday and then pre-market highs. But it's already broken $15 and falling even lower. So DJT to the downside on expiration day. You got a bowl of something.
It always has something. I mean, that's why you got to be right in there in case there's extras. You can grab them. Again, all right. Are we ready to go, Fabian?
Yep.
All right, over to the desk.
Yeah. Hi. Raheem is here, managing director from OCI Groups here in Toronto, to talk about a few things. I wanted to get your take first off. it's been kind of a quiet move. Everyone's so focused on equities. Everyone's so focused on the Fed this week. But I mean, metals across the board have been super strong. Gold all-time highs again.
Yeah, after the long-awaited announcement, we got 50, so which was good, and obviously gold correlates, like we've talked about, countless times, that gold correlates with some of these things like interest rates. So we saw that move, and we saw it being a big move because the 50 was a little bit higher than, obviously was higher than what most people were thinking might happen. And it's predicated on the fact that there's going to be at least one, possibly two more in the next 12 months. And so gold's going to run, and then some of these metals do just follow suit. And it is a correlative effect to the market. So if you know that their money's going to be slightly cheaper, you're going to now know that you can go out, like we talked about a few sessions ago. Companies now know that debt's a little bit more attractive, a little bit more feasible for them to go out and get. If that's more feasible, you're going to go and build things. If you're going to build things, you're then going to need the coppers and the zincs of the world. So all those things kind of fall in line, like gold and silver go together. But then the other base metals that you're going to need to build all the things are going to come next. So it's kind of an intertwined economic theory.
Yeah, more to come from the metal. We'll have to metal industry. We'll have to get back to some of those opportunities.
Yeah,
here
like Sean said, know a little bit about gold, so happy to talk about it, but not today.
We wanted to talk about India here, and you sent me a long list of opportunities. But I mean, this is just one of them. We'll get to that in a sec. But from a whole. Yeah. I mean, if you go back, I think it was probably 2-3 months ago, we were talking, at this time on this show about the opportunities for IPOs specifically in the India equity market space. And they've just been exploding here, including a couple this week.
Yeah, the Indian equities market is a phenomenal one. There's just so much money that's coming from the segment of population that didn't get access to Indian equities are now gaining access to Indian equities, whether through online banking, online brokerages, being able to do these trades on their phone. So there is this new population of people that is coming into the market. And like I talked about a few segments ago, TELUS added 100,000 subscribers, and India does 100,000 subscribers, just done. 100,000 just added, right?
That's a Tuesday.
So you have just this new population of people that are coming into the Indian equities markets, and the IPO is sort of that. It's complete FOMO, right? Like you don't want to miss out. And the way the subscription basis works in India is you have to oversubscribe for the amount of shares that you actually want to get an allocation. So you see these IPOs, and if you missed it on the allocation, you're there on day one, day two, and some of these names just gangbusters.
If anyone's not maybe familiar with how that market's set up, is there an area of the market or an industry that's the major one that everyone focuses on?
Again, like most parts of the world, you're going to look at like the ones that in this past week, as an example, that have been popping have been tech and real estate. So we're in Canada. We're more skewed to mining and energy. We don't have as much of that in India. You've got more tech. You've got real estate. You've got those sorts of things. So just again, correlative to what you would think India to be.
Okay. Let's talk through a few of these. I mean, you sent a number of them. Baja Holdings was the one that was 160% up post-IPO.
Yeah, so Bajaj is the Indian way to say Baja. Bajaj, they're part of a larger family business. They've got businesses all across, and their housing unit is the one that just did the IPO. So their IPO was going to be listed at 70 rupees. And just for context, in terms of I'm talking rupees, one US dollar gets you about 83 rupees. And if I say a crore, that's 10 million rupees. So just for context of math, to our Indian audience, I wanted to keep it neutral. And it's just easier for me as well. So Bajaj, they went out. 70 was their IPO. They went out. Day one listing was at 150. It hit 188 rupees. Circuit breakers at 10% constantly. I can see you just shaking your head. Like,
look at this chart.
Yeah, it's quite insane. The IPO to the thing that we first talked about, 63 times oversubscribed.
Unreal.
So any investment banker here in Toronto would be running for that opportunity. But 63 times oversubscribed. Again, because it is a big family, the Bajaj family, they're across industries. better consistency on what they're doing. It's going to be one of the top mortgage companies, one of the top housing lenders in India on this particular unit. A lot of repeat business. And again, they're going slightly higher quality in terms of their loan portfolio.
And then Blue Dart was the one that we showed there off the top. Talk about that one.
Yeah, Blue Dart, they're in the delivery business. And again, same thing with most places. Delivery businesses are doing fairly well. Blue Dart has continued to do well. If you look at their 1 year, they're up 25% 1 year, 53% in the last 6 months. They just announced their quarter on Monday. So you saw that trade pop on Monday or Tuesday, depending on what chart we're looking at. You saw that trade move up. They announced net income was up 12% year over year. Revenue was up 9% year over year on that quarter. So you saw that nice move. And some of these names that we're going to talk about, guys, today is you'll see them having moved significantly within intraday the last day or two, and then some of those trades pop back off. So if you're a trader that's looking at these, some of these names are incredibly active.
And was there an event or was?
Yeah, so it was they announced their Q on Q4 on Monday. So net income was up 12% year over year on that. But again, on 8180 to 8600 base is what it traded intraday.
If anyone's sitting there saying, "Okay, great, but how do I take advantage of this?" Is there a way that people maybe in Canada and in North America in general can get access?
That's a very interesting question, and the good folks at the India Chamber of Commerce. I just plug ourselves. That is one of the things that we are working on trying to figure out different ways to do that. Right now, if you're a Canadian, to be honest, it's if you have a family member you can trade through that has access to accounts in India or in that part of the world where you can access the Indian market. And then there are certain funds that you can invest. There are a few Canadian-based funds, US-based funds, and Indian-based funds where you can invest into a basket.
Right.
But if you're looking for single name equities, it is a little bit more difficult to get to.
Torrent Power, I was looking at that before you came up here. Another one that's triple-digit percentage.
Yeah, intraday was between 1820 and 1932 rupees again, but just that delta again. If you're looking for that trade, you look at that kind of a trade on a 1 year basis, up 167%. So not bad if you're looking at getting into that. And some of these names, like to your point earlier about what is interesting, what is getting the market going. The Indian government. They have their 2030 goals. They are spending $32 trillion on the green power space. And so Torrent just signed a deal for 1,500 megawatts of hydro. They'll be investing between 25 and 35 crores on that project. So that announcement came that they just got that project, and the stock moved significantly on the back of that.
It's a utility?
It's a green power company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to kind of get through some other areas of the market, what's NDR Auto Components here?
So yeah, auto components company. And again, we looked at that one just as being interesting because as more cars come into an ecosystem, you're going to need things like parts.
Sure.
And if you look at that chart, not bad, going between 518 and 1,943 rupees on the year, up 222% on a 1 year basis.
Unreal.
I love the look. You guys should see Brendan, the look on Brendan's face. Just the eyes, just the eyes popping is great.
Like everything I've shown here is a daily chart, so it just gives you some context.
And so what it is again when I'm talking about that, like 1735 to 1943 rupees intraday is what it traded this morning, today.
Yeah.
In the Indian market, that was just today's trade.
Unreal.
So if you're in that market and you're trading, you look at some of these names that are just moving with that kind of friction.
Wild.
And then on top of that, if you're a long-term investor, hopefully there are a lot of people here are. You're up 221% on the year.
Great information. I mean, it's great education every time Raheem comes by. But I mean, one of the things we like to do on the show is talk a little bit about opportunities outside of the traditional U.S. marketplace. And Sean was just showing with other markets, even throughout Europe. There's a lot more than just the U.S. equity market, and this is monstrous opportunity.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
Great stuff. We'll touch on some metals, I think, maybe the next time Raheem comes through, because it's been a great opportunity this year as well.
It's a good time for the mining world.
Good to see you.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much to Raheem. Yeah, 63 times oversubscribed for an IPO. That's pretty juicy. It's hard to lose if you get an allocation. It's kind of hard to lose in one of those. So that'd be nice to be able to capture. So hopefully you're able to get that influence over there, Raheem, and get everybody the opportunity to invest when they're outside of India. There's opportunities all around the world. I mean, I look forward to the day when at Real Trading we'll be able to have access to that market. It's one of those things that's great about Real Trading is they never there's no resting on the laurels. Like the reason why pretty much every single market out there we are able to trade at this point, including we were talking about Mexico yesterday, Brazil, Vienna on a daily basis, Toronto obviously we're able to do here, futures, some crypto in there, is because you're constantly trying to add things to the platform. So whether you're tried and true and just want to stick to the NASDAQ New York, you want to expand your horizons, real trading is always going to be there for you. I'm just looking at, like, there's so many names that are working to the upside right now. I was just going over a few of them in here as we were listening to Raheem. And, Google, again, the bucket of names that really broke it out and really gapped above previous resistance, like, you didn't even come anywhere close to overnight sniffing retracements into prior resistance on something like this at 161. It's looking super strong. Like 2% isn't the same 2% when Google's up 2. It's cleared out the highs from yesterday, and we're back into prices we saw at the beginning of the month here. 162.50. I'm looking for a bit of a dip buy, as opposed to 2% on Intel, where it's 2.5% underneath yesterday's top. So, you want to look at these things as different. So that's why I like about the ones that are breaking out the gap, and that if you don't retest lower and can hold those bottoms, I think you can dip and rip on a few of these names. I believe we are ready to get some upgrades and downgrades, Adara.
Let's look for DoorDash kicking things off here, up about 3.5% with this BTIG research downgrade to $155 price target. Equifax getting an upgrade here from Exane BNP Paribas. Coursera up more than 7% off this BofA Securities upgrade. And Raymond James upgrading Safehold. The downgrade side, we're starting off with not one, but 3 downgrades from JP Morgan Chase. All of these also had price target increases. So 5 below, Casey's and Murphy USA getting JP Morgan downgrades and a price target bump. Last but not least, your Next Era Energy with this downgrade from Jefferies Financial. Bit of an interesting list today, guys.
Yes, sir. And DoorDash is kind of the interesting one in there. And look, the funny thing about today is you can pick upgrade. Like, does it really matter if you got an upgrade or a downgrade today? We just got a 50 basis point cut, right? Like, it's a post-Fed day. Upgrades and downgrades are not that big of a deal. That said, you'd probably, if you're into DoorDash, you're certainly happy with the move that it's making. I want to zoom out so you can see, like, this one's coming into the 52-week high up here at the 141. Well, 141 is the resistance level. There's some wicks above there, but on a closing basis, it's $141 for DoorDash. So it's starting to get there. I think when you get to those highs on a day like today, like kind of a market assessing it type of day, you're probably going to run into some resistance on DoorDash. It's been an unbelievable bounce off $100. How clean was that? It double bottomed at $100 almost exactly, and now a retest of those tops. I do think you probably run into some selling there and some consolidation, and then you can catch a break. But when it clears it out, that's the kind of one for continuation. You're going to like, I don't really use DoorDash. Can't lie, I've settled on Uber Eats 90-something% of the time. We used to use it a bunch in COVID, but hey, it doesn't matter what I use. The stock is trending to the upside, about to test its 52-week highs. Not there yet, but it'll get there.
We have this bad, what's up, Nicole Harris there in the chat. I just want to fix this. Okay, all right, so thank you, Nicole, for sending this through. All right, let's read it together. I need a lesson. I was studying Nvidia 5 days straight, large-scale orders, billion USD, I guess, large orders. Yeah, okay, lots of money flowing through. This stock does, I don't know what it did yesterday, but do hundreds of millions of shares, of course. Green inflow larger than red outflow. Why did the price go down? Lit market, dark pool. Why did the price go down on Nvidia the last couple of days? Hold on, let me just see what it looks like on a daily chart here. Yeah, the scales are to the downside. So I would just say, like, when you're studying some of these order flows that are coming through, there are websites that have net inflows and outflows on a stock in one particular day. The bulk orders, like there might have been some big, there could have been some big institutional orders that might have flipped that one way or the other. If you get a big, huge buy that comes in, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to hold the bid. If the algos and everything start hitting on stocks and get flipped over and turn on, then they wipe out levels. We sat here one day and saw 1.5 million shares get taken away off the ask as if it didn't even exist. and the market just kept on going higher. So I don't really have like a great answer to the question. Like I don't really study, you know, the net buyers or sellers on stock. I just kind of look at the way the stock moves and movement. I'd be surprised if you're saying that there's net buyers. I don't know why then it would have gone down for 5 straight days. I mean, the sellers outweigh the buyers if the market's going down. So there might have been en masse more buyers, but maybe the levels just held and the sellers overtook to the point where the algos started taking, you know, a piece of it. I don't really have like, these wicks are too big. Like it's too hard to see something when you have a stock that's doing this. You know, you have big moves up there, nice move back in, a huge tank at the end of the day. Like the sellers sold off. The problem with Intel, Nvidia, and a lot of these stocks is SOXL, SMH, SOXX, right? All of the ETFs can really impact order flow. And I just wonder if that's what's been happening with Nvidia. I mean, I don't think it's been a huge sell-off, but I like to see some more context to that. If you have Twitter or anything like that, and you could send me some of the numbers on the inflows versus outflows, then that would make a little more sense to me. But for right now, yeah, not a great answer there. We'll see if Neil's talking with Raheem here, but maybe there's something more onto that. But for me, if you're seeing more buyers than sellers, the stock should be up. So I don't really have a good one on that other than we just trade price action. And I think Nvidia can get back up to the upside. There's just been so much negativity in the semis, like Micron's down, Intel's down, AMD's finally trying to break through 154. So I would say that they hit the sector, and Nvidia I think is going to be the winner. So I do like buying any dips in that name. But did you see that super chat?
Look, I like Nvidia the best. It's just weird the amount, like how it seems to be held down when you know everyone likes it. And it doesn't have to make a ton of sense. Things don't have to make sense at the end of the day. But this is the one that surprises me the most that it's not breaking above that high yesterday. Like with everything gapping up, I'm surprised Nvidia is not making that break higher. Now, some of it has to do with how far it sold off in yesterday's trade, and some of that gets exacerbated by, you know, like that end of the day, no buyback stuff. But, you know, ultimately, you know, when you talk about trading when you talk about like block trading and some of those orders that go through, I try to, as much as I can, ignore them unless I have a valid reason to drive a thesis off of it. And I've never really found one, so I try to stay away from that and just work with the price action. Like if we break out, that's a bad, the high here is 170, 1730. That's not the actual high yesterday. If we break that Fed high today, Nvidia should fly. I want to try to keep it as simple as that for Nvidia. And as far as these other, like you mentioned there, Sean, like Micron.
I'm not logged in. Yeah.
Micron is still, like, this thing is still, like, it's not as bad as Intel's chart, but it's still consolidating off that same bottom that we had before. So, you know, you can say that, you know, some chips are better than others and you can see the winners and losers. I think it's like very, very clear. Like when you look at something like a Micron, yeah, granted, if it breaks 91.5, I can see all the world that whether that's next week, I'd probably be taking that long. But which is the one that's in an upward trend for a while, and which is the one that's in a downward trend for a while? Although I do like AMD seems to be breaking its trend. But between Micron and Intel, like those two have been trash. Like which would you rather be dip buying? Trying to hope for a bottom or trying to just buy a dip in something that's been constantly going up? I know the latter's generally the way to go.
All right, let's get into everything else we need to know here as we head towards the open on a busy Thursday. Lots going to be benefiting from what happened not only at the end of the day yesterday, but here this morning. So if you haven't done so, go down to the description of this video. There's a link waiting for you there for the watch list. Super easy. Click the link, enter your email address, and then you get everything you need to know delivered to you daily, right to your inbox for free. Top of the list, I mean, we can talk about a lot of things that specifically tech related are going to benefit from these rates starting to come down. But I mean, why not talk about some of the semiconductors we touched on, or Sean touched on briefly there, Nvidia. But yeah, semis to the upside in a pretty big way here. 3.1% for Nvidia. I mean, this is just one story that came up this morning, but there's a lot of individual catalysts here.
There's a lot also just on watch in this space in general in terms of continuing stories. Intel, don't want to touch on that too much. We'll talk about that later. But INTC, of course, some ongoing developments. SMCI's been on watch over the last few weeks as well. Yesterday, getting a $600 price target and a positive analyst note there from Needham. So lots of excitement, I think, in this space, not just with Nvidia and with the overall move. We'll have to see how some of these names react in different ways.
Yeah, and it could be, as you said, more of a group kind of an affair today, but that's fine. I mean, just pick your poison and hopefully on the right side of things. But nice start anyways, guys. 3+ here for Nvidia.
Yeah, I mean, thank you again, Brendan, for all of that and all that super chat from Nicole as well. We just sort of talked a little bit about Nvidia. I don't know. I'm not like, for some reason, like I'm not as excited about Nvidia as I am the other names. And normally, like Nvidia's been a really top stock to trade for me, and it's just I don't know. I feel like it's too back and forth in here. Like it's not. I mean, we could sit here and say this 121, 120 level. I mean, when Nvidia goes, and I call it meme crazy. You've seen me trade it before when it does that. I think we'll definitely look at it if it can do that again. And what that means is just you're sitting here and it's just lifting all of the asks, and it's just like boom. Because I remember back in the day when AMC and GameStop and all the names just 90, 91, 90. Like it's just there's nothing. It just goes. It goes as if there's news like every time. So when that happens for Nvidia, I am definitely liking when that's in play, right? And so for me, I could see it maybe. I mean, this is a 20-minute chart. I could maybe see us getting excited if we can get into this 119, but then like look how choppy this is. That's 120, this is 118.50. Like there's just a lot of back and forth right here. So then you say, okay, well, what if we break the top? So then where's the top? Like 118? It's not as significant as I would have liked. For me, Nvidia should be a little cleaner than it is. So that's why I just go over and I try to make trading as simple as possible. AMD has a level that actually looks like something, and it's right here. Like we've bounced up against it now. Now it looks like it's, I mean, remember what we just looked at with Nvidia? Very, very choppy, couldn't really find any breaking levels. Well, this 155 is a level, right? And so I think that if you could take that, when you take that, that's probably a push long, and then you can hold it back to 154. So that would be something there for me. And we've traded Micron really well over the last little while. We actually traded, Intel yesterday was chef's kiss. I mean, we had the top of the day on Intel yesterday at 2180. Like, and it was on the sticky note. Micron down here, if you get a dip, there's other names I like for dip buys today. I think the market will be up. I think the market will be strong, but we could sell off early. Those of us that took sort of the longs into the close yesterday might want to cash out a little bit. I think if Micron can dip into 87 as well, there's definitely some support levels into here. You might get 87.50, 87. I like this for long if we start dipping around. So there's 3 ideas there, and how we traded Intel yesterday was perfect, but I'm going to look at these names today.
Yeah, like, I mean, to me, like, it's pretty simple when you see something that, like Intel, that cannot break out, after you basically get all the euphoria over their, we're going to divest at Mobileye. No, they're not. They're not divesting Mobileye, and I guess we'll get to that a bit later. But that couldn't break out. Nvidia hasn't broken out yet, but at least it's close to it. And to Sean's point, like that's the same reason I like AMD in here. Now I have 155, but it's more like 155. 154.50 is this top here. It's above yesterday's highs. Like it's actually on the daily. It just held a 50 period. You've got the higher lows. Like this is starting a new uptrend after the August 5th bottom. So since then, you put in a lower high, a higher low. You have not put in the higher high yet, but you just bounced off the 50 period. I like that. And it looks like you're breaking out this local top. This local top gets broken out. I think there's room to the 200 period moving average at $160. Like that's what you want to see. Like you want to go long something which has the extended move out there. Not, hey, let's go long something which is right into the big resistance level but hasn't broken it yet. Now, this is one that broke out level 1 and now is trying to break out level 2. So it breaks this out, and then I think you've got room to $160 through the top. And Nvidia, it's not that Nvidia can't go But Nvidia is just going sideways without breaking yesterday's high. And I keep pointing out that it is here, not there, 117.30. Now, if Nvidia can get through 117.30, great. I think it's got to move to 120, 121. But it's not really doing much of anything here this morning. Like, it's oddly flat. It's 3% can be disappointing sometimes.
Thank you to Jorge here in the chat here, telling me and some guy named NIO.
Who's
I think
that?
he means Neil, but Sean and the stock Neo, please drink water and a cup of coffee in his name. So thank you so much, Jorge or George Bados there. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Jorge.
We have the Hydration Nation going right now, and I have a request in for a coffee.
Need coffee.
Randy's not here, so we'll see if Rob comes through on that one, and then of course
Usually does.
6. So Adara's on the big desk, so we will see. We'll see a different midday show. I assume it's going to be Obi. I have absolutely no idea.
I presume Obi will be in play.
What would we do without this guy? All right, let's go back over to the desk.
Yeah, we'll continue along here with IBIT. Bets take out the highs up 5% here this morning, along with Bitcoin, as we mentioned, back through that 63,000 area. Focus your attention after the close yesterday. This ETF had quite the move through to 35. We're gapping up even higher here.
One other note, too, adjacent to this, we have Robinhood, sometimes moves with these crypto stocks. Robinhood pretty strong today. Also getting a $27 price target up from 23 from Piper Sandler, maintaining an overweight rating. I know Vlad Tenev is set to do an interview this evening as well. So this could be, HOOD could be one to look at with regards to some of these crypto plays.
So many different options, guys. Where's the opportunity here today for crypto stocks?
There was an opportunity for a long-term play in Coinbase. We talked a little bit about that one as well. I think that Coinbase is a play. Crypto up a little bit here, 63 and change. Nice move to the high side over the last couple of days. Yeah, I think Coinbase goes right up 5% here. We can check on what IBIT is doing because, again, it's another move. Like we talked about getting long yesterday. I didn't really think that crypto would be doing this, but 63,000, the bull run, I believe, is going to be here for a minute. So, I mean, if you're going to trade anything, you could trade IBIT. That's trying to break higher. There's no levels up here. I mean, there's going to be levels eventually, but it's such a nice move back to the upside here for IBIT that, I mean, the trend is definitely your friend. I think you want to dip buy all these things. And whenever we talk about a stock and stocks that are up, I always like to play off VWAP. So for me, I think IBIT down here, basically at pre-market lows of 35.70 is probably a play. And again, IBIT's going to mimic what Bitcoin does. So I don't need to call up the Bitcoin chart to look at it other than, looking at sort of historical numbers. But it looks like we want to go higher here, right? Breaking through 36. If the market continues to go, the NASDAQ is ripping.
As we speak.
And by the way, that talk about let's hope that we can hold some of these bids into the open. Yeah, that's happening. The NASDAQ is back to 20,000. Wow. Talk about a move up right there. Amazing. I'm going long on Bitcoin today, man. That's probably a break there of 36,000. Thank you so much, Rob, for that. I did see those burritos, by the way. They were looking pretty decently there. Yeah, normally we just get these little egg puffs there.
Those are a meal this morning.
But yeah, those there's some huge burritos over there today. All right. So, anyways, yeah, I think you got to go long on crypto. Breaking above 63,000. IBIT's going strong here. As long as you can hold VWAP, which is like this 35.50, 35.60 area right here. I like that. And for a long-term play, I've already broken it. Oopsies. I've already broken it out to you guys. I think Coinbase down here is well worth the risk if you're going to look at, holding this 158 area. It's at 170. That's $12 worth of risk. I think the upside is way more than $12 on that one. So, yeah, thank you so much again. New member or not new member. Let me just say who this member is. Thank you to Ishmael here. Thank you so much for becoming a member of Trader TV Live. Cute kid there, it looks like.
Yeah.
Can't see a small picture, but
thank you there, Ishmael. And if you're looking at crypto, the other thing to play, I think, MSTR has got a 15% short float, so that's got to be in play as well. And it just recently broke a bit of a downward trend. So there's your 200 period bounce on MSTR, very, very clean off of it. Broke the plane here on the trend break. And then what's the best part about it is that little trend then holds the bid. So all it has to do is break out the 50 period. That'll be $143. Can it get there today? I don't know. That's still a couple of percentage points away. So it'll be up 8% if it tries to break this 143 high, but I think that looks very, very spicy for a continuation rally. If Bitcoin continues to hold over 60 and maybe make that press at 65, I mean, MSTR would be a natural choice. I mean, MicroStrategy at this point, I mean, it's essentially just like a Bitcoin ETF, but because of that short float and the leverage, it can be a very good vehicle, especially after splits. So, this is worth looking at. The one I already mentioned, Mara, for some reason, just not really breaking out on any of the higher time frames yet. So if the market does head, not the market, if Bitcoin heads to the downside, like that would be the name underneath 16.7. That would make some sense. But MSTR looking very strong. Needs to take out 143.
143, you say?
Yeah.
More opportunities based off what happened yesterday on the Fed side of things in these payment-related or online finance-related type stocks. SoFi, I was just looking at here, 4% on the morning, bit of a pullback to 840. I mean, there's a ton of different angles you can take here. Affirm, a bit of a pullback, even higher, 5% right now, touch $47. All these moving.
What's interesting too, a lot of these, worth noting, they have larger short floats and a lot of retail interest. So Affirm about a 6.5% short float, a little smaller. With SoFi, you've got about a 17.8% short float. Upstart seeing about a 27.3% short float. So lots of higher short floats for a lot of the names in this space. And they were also running up into that announcement a bit as well over the last few days. So these stocks could be in play for sure.
A few of them running into multi-week type resistance levels, though, if you zoom out a little bit here, guys, today.
Yeah, well, the one with the exception, I think, is obviously Affirm because it gapped out above that 45 level. So, oftentimes when there's a key price level, sometimes you get a chance to break it out and make the trade on it. Other times you're just going to gap away from it. That's what ends up happening on Affirm. Affirm gave multiple short opportunities off this 45 level, including a few yesterday in the afternoon. And the last couple of days it's been good. But at this point, it's 7% short float, which it's not as big as it used to be over there on Affirm. I think 45 and 45 half, which is yesterday's high, those are natural spots. If you pull back in to those highs for a bit of a dip, and if we continue along this path, it's about 48 that it has to get to next. So if I was sort of thinking we'd actually get at least a little bit of a pullback off of the open, currently that's not looking like the case, although there's still a chance this breaks the bottom, gives you a dip into prior day highs. Instead, we might just have to be a little bit more patient. I know you guys, a lot of people have asked me about SoFi. SoFi did not break out. It's holding above 830. That's good. It has not broken out that 850 level from yesterday. So you still haven't really had that next level. 830 come and gone. 850. That's the next one here for SoFi, charting that one. But I think I'm going to have to wait for a dip buy on Affirm. It would have been a nice breakout through yesterday's high, but it's gapped $1 higher. So I'm going to patiently wait for a dip buy on Affirm, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know what I was looking at here? It's funny because we were just talking about Bitcoin and everything like that. And PayPal, I mean, wowee. This is, I'm in this name. I bought a little bit here, but I've been in this name for a while. So definitely out of the money on PayPal for sure, I would think. But we'll have to double check it. Look at the move we've had on PayPal. Like, you want to talk about a huge move right now. I mean, PayPal from $68, 4 or 5 straight up days and breaking through that level. The only thing I wanted to get at quickly was that it's running right into a lot of resistance. And into here, $76 to $78. I don't. This is why I want to look at this stock once we're done the show here during lunchtime and see about possibly trimming some of this position, if not getting out of it all. I think we can still break higher, but I think I'd rather be involved once, chug that water, once we break above this 80. I feel like that's better. So I would almost say that if you're in this name, 77 to 78 here is a decent spot. If you can get a bump today, which you're already getting, something like that to get out. So a couple more bucks upside, there's resistance. So for me, for PayPal, we're talking about payment stocks. I think it's a little bit of a short, a couple bucks higher. So let's keep this on our radar in case the market continues to do this. I mean, wow, what a morning so far. This is not a payment stock. We don't even have it on here, but it is my #1 trade of the day. It's going to be Amazon. And Amazon had that talk with Affirm, PayPal, all this kind of stuff, adding buttons to their Prime Day. Look, the interest rate cut is supposed to be great for consumers. Retail's already strong. I like it. I like the stock. It's breaking above that 190. It's not you know, I would hope that it would have been up more than the market, so that's giving me a little bit of a pause. Okay, hold on a second. The fact that Amazon is only up 2% here and the market's up 2.5%, a little bit of a worry spot for me, but at the same time, 90, 90, 90, 90, we're all right here. These top wicks are 190, 160s, 191 and change. So, you know, I like the long here, and I just, little bit, it's my number one idea. I wrote that down over an hour ago, but, you know, support back here at 189. You know, I like the stock. I'm bidding. It's the only stock right now that I'm bidding. I'm bidding Amazon down here at 189. Feel like it's a good little spot there. If you're really in trouble, there's 188. If you can't hold Amazon $1, you're in the wrong business.
Remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell.
Like and subscribe.
Icon.
Hit the bell. Hit the icon. Thank you, Fabian.
7.6% here for Mobileye. Daily chart doesn't really tell the story, but nice gap anyways. But guys, back above 1250 here. What a move down this has been. But yeah, Intel comes out, confirms that they have, quote unquote, no plans to divest their majority stake in the company.
There's a couple aspects of this that are really fascinating. For one, Mobileye down about 73% as of yesterday's close on a year-to-date basis. So that is not a great look. It's also worth noting here, we actually had contradicting a report from Bloomberg earlier this month saying that Intel was looking to sell. Intel itself saying that they want to continue to invest in this company, but they want to give it some more operational independence. So we'll have to see how this unfolds for MBLY. Kind of an interesting area here in the daily chart. If you look at this gap that we have coming down here, let's see if we can reclaim this level we're holding right now around 1260s.
8.5%. My apologies. Trade Idea is not updating, but our platform is here, guys. What a move here today.
Yeah, it's up 8-9%, but you know, look, it's only done 300,000 shares worth of volume. I feel like if you want to deal with if you want to get into automated driving, then Alphabet and Tesla, your tickets. Don't forget, I mean, Tesla, they got the robotaxi event. It's easy to forget about this, but we're just a couple of weeks away from the robotaxi event for Tesla, which is going to be a big one on the 10th for them. So Mobileye, I think, is a bit of a pass for me. I mean, usually I just say, hey, look, you have a double top the last 2 days, you're gapped above it, go dip buying into 1230. Well, when there's no liquidity on the stock, then who knows what kind of a bid there's going to be if it gets down to a price like that. No clue. Mobileye's never been all that liquid. But Intel is, I hate, down's not the right word because it's up 2%, technically speaking. And I've said it a few times, this is the stock that's the furthest of the tech names that's the furthest removed from yesterday's highs that I have seen, which, so while it's up 2%, does put it in the relatively weak bucket. It's a pretty clean double or triple top in here around 2180, and it would take some work for it to get there. But it has the most room to resistance of everything that I've looked at this morning, which I don't think is too much of a surprise. So if it gets there, I think it's still a bit of a short. Disregarding this, I mean, the news is obviously not the best. I think some people wanted to see them do that, and that was part of the restructure that everyone thought was going to be a big deal, but they're not. So is what it is here with Intel, and it's still underneath resistance at 2180.
Yeah, Mobileye 13% short float. You know, obviously has a chance to go, but what a disaster this has been. I mean, if your name's attached to Intel in any way, this is what's probably going to happen. Huge move to the downside, complete disaster. Intel's only good thing they've already sold, that was ARM. Look, yesterday we had Intel on the sticky note at 2180. We actually have this tick from yesterday. And so that's just been an absolute monster trade. It was great yesterday. I had no idea how far it was going to be going down. I mean, I posted a lot of trades yesterday, that's for sure. Here it is right here. So we had this tick yesterday. There it is right there, 2170. What wound up happening, we were getting out of these pieces. We wound up covering, I think it was 21.25 down there for the bottom. But that was yesterday, right? And I think that we have some ideas today. Was on the sticky note there for yesterday. I like Intel up at these same levels. I mean, again, it's not rocket science. There's the short that we had yesterday right here. There's what happened to it. It came back. What an opportunity again to have hit that same level yesterday. Bang to the downside. So if you get anything up there again and you don't take it, again, maybe you're not looking at the stock. And if I'm not looking at it, then I can't take it. So maybe this is a stock that I'm going to put an offer at right here for Intel. 2180, 2190. So right up into there. It's a short. It was such an easy trade yesterday. Let's just try to make it again. If we lose, we lose. But We're here to make trades and make some money. Yesterday was a monster day. Let's see if we can continue it today. 5 minutes until imbalances.
DJT, yeah, about 5 minutes to go here. DJT downside to the tune of about 4.5% here this morning. Lots of different angles and lots of different opinions on when this lockup actually comes to an end for Trump media. Long story short, basically the terms were if it's above $12, it's the 19th. If it dipped below $12, it would have been the 25th. So, I mean, according to the selling here this morning, I would suggest it's today.
That's certainly the angle that we seem to be getting the most of here. We also had Barron's reporting that it's the 20th, so there's a lot of different dates being thrown around here. What's really interesting, though, of course, is that big move up we had on Friday the 13th when we had Donald Trump saying in a rally that he has no intentions of selling his stake. So this could be interesting. We'll have to wait and see how this all unfolds. But either way, a stock to watch today.
Yeah, trying to bounce right now. Back above 15 here, guys, for DJT.
Bounces just came out. NEO leading the way for a 1 million share imbalance. I actually thought maybe DJT just had one, but it's NASDAQ, so no. But it just popped back through 15. Look, whether he sells or not, the trend has been suggesting that this is probably headed lower. I feel like a stock like this is always a short till it's not for me. And a lot of times when you get those big squeeze moves, it gives you an opportunity, if you're patient enough, to go into the up, to go pop and fade. Now, $16 just underneath yesterday's high seems obvious. And then, 15.5. If it climbs above 15.5, that was the clear support before we had this move to the downside. I think along the lines of its expiration, if nobody sells at the open, no big sell imbalances, no big orders come in, it could easily squeeze. People might take that as he's not selling. But I just want to be laid back and patiently waiting for it to curl. I'm not really looking for a long on DJT today. I'm just looking for a failed break of a key high, 1550 for 16. If 16 breaks, then I'll just wait and play it by ear, look for a trend reversal on DJT. So I think it's going to do some volume today. There's no questions about that. And probably for the next few days, it's going to be in play. But I just want to be patient with it because I'm favoring the short. I had to pay for locates, but they were super cheap here at real trading, just about a cent a share.
All-time highs for Palantir today again, man, or not all-time, 52-week highs, 37.11. We talked about the all-time highs were sort of when we were going sort of meme crazy there. But there goes Palantir again, nice move upside, up 1.68%. Again, a little bit of caution, because it's not up as much as the market. So I have it written down here on the sticky note that we could possibly get a 36 dip. And I don't think that that's unheard of. It's been wild off the open some days. I mean, yesterday, a huge move up. I mean, the market continued until that pullback, and then this actually there traded pretty similarly to the rest of the market on Fed, like up and down and couldn't find its way, but started to get going there in the after hours. Then today enjoys this nice move up. But I'm looking at right into here, 36s, to see some kind of support. So I'm going to start the buying at 36.50 here on Palantir, and then we'll see about a little bit lower. Patience has been so key on this name. Like, it was my worst stock, I think, what day is it? Thursday, maybe Monday or Tuesday. And then we put it back on the next day and was able to make money. And it was about trying to be patient, trying to catch some of these moves. Like the last time we were at, what just happened? Okay, I just got long on Amazon right now. So Amazon just pulled into 189, which is fine. We're right there right now. We're at long at 189. Oh, well, look at the spread. The spread is huge right now. There it is. All right, we'll just take 85 cents right there on Amazon as it just went up and down right there. Again, huge spread right now for Amazon. Let's just punch out again, Neil. Wow, okay. The Dollar Club is already trying to be in the business here. There it is, man. It's Amazon. It's on the sticky note, and it's along at 189. I mean, we're sitting there right there at the 200 period moving average. It hit once, came back in there, dropped through. I don't know, maybe it went all the way down. Nice move in there, 189 and change. Stick with your rules. This might already be good enough today, but let's just wait to see what happens with Amazon. Wow, Christmas comes early on that name. It's 9/28. But in order to be there, you got to be good. You got to be putting your bids out. We talked about it, Neil. The only bid we had out was Amazon. So props up to anybody there that followed your boy on that.
Yeah, great look there on Amazon. And oddly enough, I checked. It was a buying balance that just came out on Amazon. So it's not even a selling balance. It's small. It's 200,000 shares. It's NEO, which is growing. But I'm just going to quickly show you guys. NEO was 1 million shares and growing. Palantir actually a little bit bigger than it was a second ago, 300,000. NIO, despite that, just so you guys can see, despite a buy imbalance, actually ticking lower. So I'm going to call that a little bit of a nothing burger. Just because it's an imbalance one direction or the other does not mean it has to run. We didn't really mention Apple. Apologies, I know we had a lot to get over today. Apple, 225.5, big resistance level. I do like Apple for longs. We liked it in the afternoon yesterday, playing some dip buys into it. Pre-market lows as well, looking pretty solid for AAPL. But you know what? It's post-Fed. We got our 50-point basis cut, but we got the bell, the first one since the 50% cuts, brought to you by Firefly Neurosciences. So, Dara, let's ring it. That was a little bit delayed. Thank you. You're going to have to ring it in 3, 2, and 1. The market's open now, Dara. Thank you. Little delay on my screen.
All right, so we're out of already 40% of Amazon. Let's see. We were expecting a little bit of a pullback in the market here off the open. We talked about that even in our tweet there. So let's wait to see what happens. Nice move down for Amazon. We'll buy a little bit more down here at 189, understanding that we're already in and don't need this to bleed too much back now. So all right, we'll wait. So we'll wait for that. I'm at 190. 190.50 is where I'm at. We actually just got missed there. Did come back up to the upside. All right, Google is dropping in. This was a name that I talked about breaking higher on Google, but this name's been broken for a minute, right? So coming into the 200 period, moving average rate now, 162.50, maybe worth a little bit of a buy here on Google. What's up, Adara?
News here and then move to Amazon. This actually came out right before the bell as we got that move up, but Amazon posting on its blog a couple of updates here, both related to AI. First, they're launching this generative AI-based selling assistant they're calling Project Amelia. They also have launched this AI video generator. So this is on the About Amazon blog. AMZN and watch here with regards to that, again, coming out right before the bell, guys.
All right, we're not trying to play around anymore right now. We've got Google on board right here. We're long at 80s. Let's see if it can go. Google right now. Let's see about this play as we go. Dollar in the money on Amazon, 20, 30 cents on Google, but watching out for 162.50 to break in order to get out.
Yeah, it's already back above 163. I'm talking about Google there. But guess what broke out the high? Nvidia just took it out. AMD did not. So, yeah, way to go, AMD. AMD is not breaking, but you're through yesterday's highs on Nvidia. So the one that you thought was stronger does not want to go, and the one that was languishing, now 4% to the upside. So 117.30 was yesterday's top. Apologies about the wicks on Nvidia here. I'm looking for a pullback into prior resistance. So we can try to get a dip here, 117.5 on Nvidia. That's yesterday's high. A bit tough to see in there with the wick on that chart. And AMD actually not moving. It's up 3.5 points, and it's about a 20-30 cent range so far on advanced micro devices. It is getting close to breaking out the high. I do have an order to break out on AMD, but it's Nvidia that decided to go first.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go, guys. So far, so good. Google trying to go. We are long into Palantir, but we're giving this one some room, baby, on Palantir. So we are not heavy into this name at all. We're going to give it a little bit, man. It just went into 36.40. We can put another bid down there, 36 like 20s. If that comes in, great. Right now, it's my day is just kind of resting on whatever Google winds up doing right now. We've got some out there on the top side. If the futures go, obviously, I think this name can go, but it's not doing what I thought it would do. So we'll switch up on that one in a bit. I'm going to take another piece out here on Amazon, although I feel like it's a little bit early to do that, but I don't want to get caught here thinking long. We talked about a possible fade off the open. So let's take another piece. I mean, 190 is, okay, well, here comes 190 now. Wow, that's a good one. All right, so there goes Amazon. I mean, our number one trade idea for the day is big. So let's see, here we go. Take out 190, and then we'll see about Amazon trying to go a little bit higher on that one. Market needs to get going. If this Google is going to work, though, I might buy a little bit more down here.
Yeah, Google is, like, it gave you the first push, but it's stalled at 163 for sure. AMD still nothing, looking for that dip buy in Nvidia, but nothing's really changed here. Everybody, hit that like, hit that subscribe. It's a subs-only chat, so if you want to ask us questions, a name we're not going over, then hit that subscribe so you can join the chat and the great community that we have of trading. I did pay for locates on DJT. The first thing it did was completely fail a 15 break and catching a bid here at 1480. So I'm going to look to short the pop here on DJT. Would like to get it at the 15 level and give it up into the 1520. Just going to make sure I have a stop order going through. But power move in Nvidia currently, it might not dip. back into VWAP in the 117.5 here, but I want to be obliged by the fact that the market is coming down. So the NASDAQ is not dripping down all that big, but if you're pulling back and you want to long somewhere, then you should be patiently waiting for the market to come to you. Although, should be short Intel with this market coming down like this.
I mean, short Intel's never been wrong.
It's breaking the lows.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just like, I'm really just sitting in Google right now. There we go. We get a fill there at 163. This is going to be a big position for me, so we'll just wait. Should we go long on Palantir? People in the chat are asking. No. I mean, I'm long now, but I'm long pretty small. We talked about where we wanted to get this trade back into here, so I'm bidding a little lower than where we are right now on Palantir. I mean, I guess because we're dripping, I could add a little bit to this position now. My next add on PLTR, let me just find out where it was. It was at 21s. So I am expecting a little bit of a lower push. Well, there we go. We'll take some now at 39s. But yeah, I feel like if we break this 36, then we could just get the heck out. 36.09. So that's Palantir right now. The market's kind of doing mess stuff right now. But it looks like Google wants to push back. Again, this market doesn't go, then we are gone. We are not trying to reinvent the wheel. Like I said yesterday, we're just going to try to play the names. I like this drip on Google. We're going to try to buy it ahead of this 200 period moving average. So that's what I'm doing. We're going to see if it can support. Palantir going the wrong way, and we're getting lighter and lighter. As we mentioned, we're out of 60% of Amazon now. So I still think Amazon has a chance to go. Market's pretty low right now. I don't want to play the futures yet. I still want to look at equity. But right here comes Google right into that level. So it looks like it wants to break this 162.50. Yep, there it goes.
Yeah, it does not hold on. Well, it's trying to. 162.4 is where my stop's going to be.
That did not.
Sorry about this chart on Nvidia. I was able to get rid of the wick, but it got rid of a few other things too. So the lower high on Nvidia, ignore VWAP on this chart for a second. 117.5. The previous high was 117.3. It actually held on to that and is now breaking back and attempting to get back into the 18 level. Nope, there goes Alphabet. So slap the fail on that one, as Google does not look good anymore. Yeah, could not hold on. We had that 162.4 written.
We need a short.
We're playing that long into it, but you just broke it down. So unfortunately, no good there. Intel, I still feel like this one is a fade, but it actually bounced. It was breaking the pre-market low, and it's actually trying to bounce now. So the resistance up at the 70 level, but the lower high, 21.5. We'll wait for it to pop. Just have to be patient with this. I don't want to be shorting something at the bottom here with the market up. I mean, the NASDAQ is still up 2 points here. So I don't want to be shorting something at the lows. That feels a little bit like a dangerous game to be played. Although DJT won't even let me into the short. That's a different story. I don't care what the market's doing with regards to that stock. Just tried to short it back through 15. No fill. It's continuing lower here on DJT, down 5%. It's trying to kid it at VWAP. Nvidia is holding on, but it bounced off the $0.50 and can't even break 118 now. So you're right, you got the $0.50 the first time. It can't seem to do it a second time just yet. So one of the stronger stocks, struggling a bit, although holding the upside. Like to get DJT short, and we'll have to be patient when it comes to Intel. Don't want to short bottoms here, not today.
Yeah, I'm just looking here to make sure that we have some trades that we want. We did buy back into Amazon, so this came into the 200 period. So we bought some more Amazon here at 2032s. Well, I did have a 25 bid that didn't fill. So if that comes back in, that will fill. But if this breaks through 189, then we're going to be out of this one as well. And then we have a position now that we're long at 36.36 here on Palantir. So we said that this is kind of the levels that we wanted to talk about. We posted it up there. So we'll hold long on Palantir and see if that one wants to continue to work. Google's
it's Apple.
Is Apple's going right now? Yeah, I mean Apple went yesterday and just kept on going, and it's doing the same thing today. We made a lot of money on Apple, and we weren't into it till very late on the 220 break. So we'll do some more work on Apple. What's up, Adara?
This one pulling back a little bit here, but still up more than 100%, increasing volume off the open. This one initially popped here earlier today after they basically released a press statement saying that they were a fan of or applauding here that announcement between Microsoft and BlackRock from a few days ago, saying they're looking to invest $30 billion in AI infrastructure. So Resolve just making a positive press statement about this announcement, pushing it up more than 100%. So RZLV on watch here. Lots of social media attention as well, guys.
Yeah, let's floss it off. I mean, here we are, man. You guys asked me about Palantir. I gave you the levels. We're all over this level. There, bang, what a move right there for Palantir. Yes, sir. We'll take that 20 cents now in the money. We just got a 54 right now out on PLTR. Let's go. Back up there to the upside. A big, big trade for me on Palantir. Also, let's revisit getting some more out of yeah, let's get some more out here on, I just put an offer, a little hesitant to do it, but 189.88 is where we're offering right now on Amazon. Hopefully that can continue to fly a little bit higher here. I really like the long here, which is why I'm hesitant to get out of it, but we did buy this into the 200 period, like Amazon here today. I don't know why I'm exactly at 88. I just pushed offer. There it is.
Because it's a great number.
Yeah, it must be a great number. So there it goes right there. Nice move to the upside right here. It's a green day, but we did lose out there on Google. So we'll see if Google can get back to the upside here. 162.60 maybe is the take, but good look there on Apple, 226.50.
Apple is absolutely screaming to the upside. I'm gonna have to use my 15-minute chart for Nvidia, but obviously, you know, it's through yesterday's highs. It's now through the highs from all week through 118.5. I'm trailing to this top in here, but we get to 119. That was a key closing price. We break 119. I'm slapping another trail on that one. But it's Apple, man. It is always Apple.
Apple, man.
See, and this is, you know what? I have a theory about this, although I feel like when people get a little bit scared about the Apple news, when it's like, oh, demand is bad and all that stuff, that's the moment when it gets the strength. And maybe you want to prioritize it when it breaks out. So it's through 226. Let me just cancel. I'm just going to cancel my bids at VWAP in here because a VWAP retrace when Apple does this tends to be a little bit useless. So it's just continuing to go. I want to look to buy the dips. Just going to have to find a place to join this trend here on Apple. Nvidia flying. And you know what? Tesla is through that 235 as well. So bye-bye Tesla through yesterday's highs. I want to make sure everyone can see that 235 was a big level, and it just continues to carry on through Adara.
Nice pop off the open here for JD.com. Some of these Chinese ADRs, including JD, most specifically Alibaba, making a move today. We did have Alibaba announcing the launch of over 100 open language or open source AI models, including some text and video tools. So JD and some of these other ADRs pushing higher off of that announcement, currently up about 6%, guys.
I mean, we're up $1 on Amazon. We're up 40 cents on Palantir. We're up 30 cents on Google. But you know what we forgot to look at? Tesla, we just talked about it. I have this written on the sticky note. It was, and I just forgot, we forgot to look at it, and I forgot completely. 235 long there written on Tesla. We were looking for break trades, and unfortunately, I mean, great for the, I mean, some of the guys behind us have it, so great for them. But there's 235, man. It is really rocking right there. So good break of that 235 up to 237. But you know what? No Tesla, no cry, baby. Because we have bigger and better trades, I feel like, on for myself with Palantir. Great dip buy opportunities right back up to VWAP. Tesla's the best name. I mean, that looks like it's the best for sure. Amazon right here on a given trade to everybody for this one, 190 and change. We just went up to 190.20. I'm going to offer that now. I was at 190.50. If we can get this one singing, we'll do that. Google, we're back in it. We got some good outs there. We did buy one, what are we long at? 60, 73s there. We got out 88s and 90s on a move up. So all is well over here, man. We're gonna go 2 for 3 with Google still pending and hopefully making that move back up. But missed trade of the day. It's not. I mean, it's missed by me because I just didn't look at my own notes here. But Tesla, great trade there. Nice move to the upside. But Palantir, boy, oh boy, this is a good move here for PLTR. A 50-cent winner on this $36 name. We'll take that for now as we'll wait. Amazon's $1, Palantir's a monster, and Google looks like it just wants to do its own damn thing. Yeah,
so that 119, so I just got out of, you'll see I'm now out of Nvidia, that 119 level that we mentioned. It just curled there. Sorry, my 3-minute chart's doing that thing again, but it is what it is. So we got the 117 half dip buy. Now we're out looking for another reload just quickly because it's starting to come back in here. Yesterday's highs, 117.3. I think we're going to have to wait around and say that if that happens, it's not good. But the 118 level should be the lower high to work into now for Nvidia. And then just before we move on here, Meta hasn't broken out yet. So super strong day, 2%. It's basically an inside day. The market takes the high. Remember, Meta is the only one of the Mag 7 that's making an all-time high today. So if it takes out the top, it is a blue sky setup for META. Just want to make sure we have that one for you. Tesla was a bit of a missed opportunity. And then Apple, of course, I want to join this one if we can get it. I need it to pull back in. The even dollar seems like an obvious level at the 226 if we can pick this one up back in, or maybe VWAP if we get lucky. So we're out of Nvidia for now. We're going to look to dip buy as the market's trying to come back in here. The ES is breaking lower right now. So I feel like it made sense to take profit on some longs. I'm wondering what's dragging. I know why the Nasdaq's strong. We've seen all the names that are taking it upside, but something's really dragging the ES down here as it's about to get to yesterday's tops.
Or we're going to take Apple if it takes 227. I mean, it wants to go. So I think Apple's definitely going to be a play there to look at. Look, we get that Amazon trade, man. We talked about sitting there at 190.20. I mean, we got it. That came right in. Bang. Big time trade on that one. Big time trade on Amazon, of course. And then Palantir, we're just getting some more outs up here. I like the VWAP trade. We just get a 62. It's right here right now. I like the stock. I feel like the next one I'm going to be into, though, is Apple. Google dropped again, so we're not layering into this by any stretch. We're just trying it there. We got out, we got in, we got out. Like, it's, unfortunately, it was this drop right into here when we broke the 200. That's going to be our blemish today so far. So loss on Google there, win everywhere else. We'll go 2 for 3, but Google is not a good trade. So we'll wait. Maybe these wicks will mean something down to 162.
Apple.
If there's something there, there's something there. But yeah, Apple's the one that we're looking at here, trying to go through 220. I missed it?
It's gone. It already went.
Oh, it didn't trigger. Why did not? Oh, for some reason that didn't even trigger. All right, so 227. Oh, no, it did. I was only bid 05. Oh, that's too bad. Apple just went ripping there to the upside. We missed that trade. That's my bad.
Yeah, you know what?
I'm going to get into it anyway.
It's going to give the dip right back in here, I think, Apple. So
I'd hope so, but I don't know.
Yeah, let's just put, you know what? And this is something we talked about. Yes. Wait a minute. Hold on. Why did my order go out? Give me 1 second there. I thought there we go. Just picked up 5s. No, we talked about this with stop orders. When you use a stop order, it matters your execution profile on it. Are you marketing into position, guaranteeing yourself a fill? Are you using a limit order and use a more aggressive limit order? I missed yesterday on IWM the breakout on the Fed number because I did not have aggressive forward. So I'm back in this. Well, not back in. We're in for the first time on AAPL. Want to see if we can join this trend. And at the end of the day, win, lose, or draw, you want to be in the names that move. And you want to find them the right way. You want to have the right execution platform. If you want to take a breakout trade, truth be told, I mean, we do it all the time. You want to have the right order types. And you can see my stop's underneath the quarters, by the way. If we lose the 3 quarters, I'm going to jump out of Apple because this market's coming into the downside. But you know what? The campus program's back, everybody. And for all of you in Canada, if you want to trade, you have a passion for trading, then this is for you. Trade real money, gain real experience. Check out realtrading.com campus if you're into it. Thank you, Apple, for not holding. Love you. But that's why we move on to the next. We get a market introduction phase 1. That's what it's all about, starting from the basics, ground up, build yourself into a profitable and professional trader. Then you go into the platform, which is P Pro 8. Every single market is available in P Pro 8. You've got multiple gateways, pretty much everything out there, multiple stop orders, lots of ways to execute in the market. From there, you're going to go into TMS, which is a simulator, one-on-one trading all throughout that program. You're in it for 4 weeks, get a nice certificate at the end. I haven't had a look at it, but hey, you get a certificate, but that's not what you're here for. You're there to go live.
Did that just
Phase 4, live trading. Earn real money, trade real stocks, one-on-one coaching from the boys in the back, ongoing goals for you to be able to become a funded trader. 16 hours a week of trading. So it can be part-time for you. You can have a side gig. You don't have to be a student, even though it's called the campus program, but you do have to be in Canada. You do have to have a passion for the markets, and you do have to put the time and effort in. But you don't have to put any money because it's free. That's the campus program. Scan the QR code, which I do believe was up, and check the link in the description of this video, or go to realtrading.com/campus. Get your trading journey started today. So I did not hold through the first time, but a break like this, I'm willing to take a second time through. AMD, by the way, has not broken that high. It's 50 cents away. I'm still going long AMD, even though we got into Nvidia. I still like that AMD breakout, which is 50 cents away.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't hold either, but we did punch back in there, as Neil was mentioning there, on Apple. So so far so good.
Still strong.
Let's just see, man. We're basically, well, we're not flat on it. We're down on the stock right now because of all those shenanigans. So let's see if we can continue to do something like that here on AAPL. Hopefully it will rip higher and higher and higher as we have a big position on it. So dropping down through the quarter point again would be probably where we would want to exit on the out. But let's try to let this one go a little bit. Palantir continues to be king around here for sure. Good trade there for me on Palantir as it continues. We are very, very light now on Amazon. I'm not going to reload this. I'm just going to be dancing with Apple now and have to watch this trade. Like I said, we have shares on this name. So if we can, manage to have this one even just 20 more cents higher, something like that. We just got some out at 22s there on Apple. It's pretty violent right now. I mean, I'm not going to say this has been an easy trade.
I'm offering Reggie Miller.
Yeah, okay. 31's up there. I think that there's an opportunity for that.
I didn't think you'd get that.
You didn't think I'd get that? Come on, man. Like I said, not just a pretty face over here.
Oh.
Okay, there it goes. Yeah, there goes the drip down. So Reggie Miller or
Why
not.
am I not short
we're not
something?
getting that. There it goes. Nice move back on there for Apple with the pull back in. Maybe it just doesn't want to go, but I still like the long. I don't want to give up on it. We're not really down that much on this stock. Here for Apple, we're still holding a small piece, but yeah, move downside right there for AAPL, not good.
Yeah, it just lost that quarter again, so I'm still having to fail in the breakout. But, ultimately, it should have been the first breakout that we had. Let's be real. Did not get the first one. We're chasing a bit. I mean, Intel's giving you lower highs to short at this point while the market is reversing. It's frustrating because the market's reversing to the lows, and it's like, what's the one stock that I was thinking short that wasn't DJT? It was Intel. And I am anchored to the highs the last 2 days. And getting anchored to prices instead of just playing the trend can be a bit of a problem. If it holds this trend of lower highs, there isn't much of an excuse not to be in this trade. So that's the open, that's there. If you hold the trend, got to be going into the short for Intel. As for other things that are sort of looking relatively weak,
The market.
no, Micron is a dumpster fire is not the right word, but this broke the low a long time ago and is
Dumpster fire is
making
always
fresh
the right
ones.
word.
No. Intel, I feel like you can't call something a dumpster fire when Intel is much worse than Micron.
Fair.
And relatively speaking, I'll be honest, it's just the worst stock.
What is Intel doing?
But Micron is about to go red and much weaker than the other chip names, at least everything that I've seen here. So this is the one that's truly dumping in here is Micron. Let's go to Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial. Also worth noting here, guys, we have Progeny here, PGNY. This one ran a couple days ago as well. Right now, though, actually down about 30% despite a decent move up here off the open. Last night, it said that they had a client who basically chose to exercise a 90-day option, terminating its services agreement with the company. That's effective as of January 1st. Also getting a price target decrease from Truist off the back of that news. JMP Securities downgrading the stock. So PGNY trying to push up higher, but that negative catalyst on watch with a 10% short float, guys.
Okay. Again, we tweeted this out earlier. We talked about it on the show. We said, can these levels hold? Could there be a sell-off early on? And that's exactly what's happened. There's been a big sell-off here early on. And yeah, I was like, what, the Nasdaq's back at 20,000? I think a lot of people woke up and probably thought the same thing there. Did I just put the wrong? Oh, I didn't. That's the wrong stop. Oh, no, I want to buy more Amazon. Okay. I was giving Amazon some room down there, and I guess I had a stop breaking 189 because we didn't do anything. Amazon's my number one stock. It's a great one today. Lots of profit there on Amazon. But the thing is that I just meant to get longer down here and not stop out. All right, because I want to give this a little bit of room. If the market does rebound, if and buts, right? There could be a lot of selling today. We talked about that. But right here for Amazon, this is the level for the NASDAQ, 19,960. So, yeah, not great right now, but a little bit of a move back up. So for Amazon, I was kind of trying to do the same thing. It's clear skies, but it was this area right here, 1875. So 188.75, 188, 75 for Amazon. Apple's pulling in nicely too, right? So we're long right now. What just happened there again on Apple? I don't know why I have more shares here. Did it break above or something?
It broke above 27.
Oh, it broke above and came back. So we have, okay, I'm going to get some out here at 90s. I didn't realize that we were, I wanted to punch in, but the market's not doing the right thing here. So I want to be more focused on Amazon, but we are into Apple right now. So I'm going to take a little bit of risk off of this name and then see if it wants to continue to go higher or not. But for me right now, I feel like the better trade is a stock that I believe in a little bit more right now is Amazon. But Apple's been super strong, so I don't want to leave this name either.
Yeah, so there was just a liquidity grab there on Nvidia underneath VWAP. So it came right back to our original entry price. Sorry about this chart. This is the one that's giving me troubles. But back above VWAP, it's looking pretty solid in here. I'm going to get in if we pull back into VWAP, just a reload, not a reload, a re-entry point into Nvidia. I still think Apple it's holding strength pretty well, but it almost needs to either just take out the fresh high or maybe the money fills are underneath 227. You know, if that's the case, and that's what I want to try to grab there, but Nvidia looking good. I am going to get, if we break down on Intel, I'd take it, but the market's trying to go back up, so I want to concern myself with getting back into some of these longs. There, I cleared out of them, and now look at the acceleration. So just try to get some 18s there on Nvidia, but now the curl is really starting to come in. I got to double check. Wait a minute, I did not get AMD breaking out. Okay, it's still here. That's
this
weird.
is why we never
AMD just broke out 154 half was the top. Also a double top in here today, but we got it now. We liked AMD, oddly enough, at the open more than Nvidia, and now it's playing a little bit of catch up, although up 4%. 4.3% when Nvidia is up 4.5%. You almost can't tell the difference, to be honest.
All right, guys, bang, 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 bang. As we go, man. I mean, we talked about we want to focus on Amazon. Boom. Did we ever want to focus on Amazon? We said we were not going anywhere with Apple. Bang, we're not going anywhere with Apple. We said we wanted to trade Palantir today. There it is. We're back into Palantir again. So far, so good here on the day. Let's just see if we can keep the good times rolling. So out some more at Palantir at the 50 period. You got to do that, man. And then Apple, we had orders that were still here from before. 17s, 20s. My best out on Apple is a 30. So good outs there for Apple as we did buy that break. We talked about that. I looked over and was like, what price are we even long here? I thought we got dip buys in Apple, but we did not. We were actually bidding 50s. That's where I thought we got them, but I turned over to Neil and I was like, what just happened? Liquidity grab to the upside there for Apple. And it looks like it wants to keep going. So yeehaw on that one. We'll see if Apple continues to be that stock for us here. For me here today. And it's not, we're still going to be down on it. We went back and forth too much with Apple and wound up punching out. So we're going to hold, whenever I say I'm down on something, it's the realized trading. I'm still obviously holding a piece here. So thinking that Apple is done for today is a mistake. I think Apple has a lot of room to run. I think we could see 230. I'm going to put an offer in and around, that's the NASDAQ. What am I looking at? That right here is Apple. I mean, that's 228. That's sort of that top there, 228.30. So I think there's an opportunity there again for Apple. So we'll see if it can continue to run up. We'll put something at 227 change, but for right now, I definitely am liking the stock here.
So liquidity grab just usually means that a stock will break a key level, spend a short amount of time doing a bunch of volume beneath if it's lower or above if it's higher, and then slam back. So it breaks that key price just to get a bunch of people trapped on the other side of a key level, and then it immediately reverses. So it did one of those. Hopefully that makes sense. You know what? Let's make the lesson of the day liquidity grabs maybe, and I'll go over that more in depth at noon for everybody.
Yep.
So speaking of liquidity grabs, there might have been one to the downside on DJT underneath 15. It's now starting to squeeze to the upside. So if it breaks out, I never got the open pop and fade, so I'm not going to just short it here because it happens to be at the same level. I think that would just be nonsensical and foolish. I can be more patient than that. I'll wait for 16 if it continues to break higher. AMD, however, so Nvidia just pulled back again. And AMD does not maintain the breakout. So it broke, it pulled into 155, 154.94 was actually the high, and then right back underneath the breakout price. So got to look for VWAP. If it's a breakout, great. A breakout is much different from a dip buy in my books. The dip buy to me has to hold trend or hold support. The breakout has to work right away or I'm not that interested in it. So the breakout we did like, we took it. We can wait for the trend, but Nvidia's already made a bit of a trend that we participated in once. So if I'm going to trend trade, I'd rather do the one that's already worked for me on Nvidia. Still not short Intel because it hasn't really set up yet. But I do want to short it. I just want to make sure we get it off a good resistance level with regards to Intel. Market's still up 2 points. Like I said, I want to be careful about shorting things that are near the bottoms.
Yeah, for sure. We just did the same thing there, similar thinking on Apple, and that is that if we can get some out, we just talked about it, we got some more out in the 30s there on the move higher. But I mean, it looks like we're going to lose right here on Amazon. We were able to take some tops out there, but it looks like it's fading back out. So it's only 10 o'clock. Okay, there it is. Where's my Amazon out? Oh, pretty soon right now. Just breaking through the 70s here will be the out. So that was close. That was lucky. I'm going to put something out now in the 90s if we can get that back up a little bit right there of a whoosh and then a move back up. Let's see if we can take advantage. I'm at 92s right now to get some more. Give me, there it goes. Okay, good. We got a little bit out there on the way back from that trade. So, so far so good here on a little bit of a reload for Amazon, but it just almost took us out. These numbers are going to be important. Let's go to Adara.
Seconds away from some housing data. Okay, we just got in here. Existing home sales here. 3.86 million here for the month of August. That is below estimates of 3.9 million. Existing home sales change on a month-over-month basis, also lower than expected, negative 2.5% here versus estimates of negative 1.27%. Also seeing some here of positive 0.9%. Different estimates either way, the number we got here much lower. We also have the U.S. leading index change on a month-over-month basis, negative 2%, so slightly higher here than what we were expecting, about negative 3%. So let's see what happens here with regards to the market. Still chopping and churning here, coming into some pretty key previous support here for the S&P 500, up about 1.5%. So not near its high, but definitely recovering off that initial flush on the open. Nasdaq looking pretty similar here as we see the market continue to react to yesterday's somewhat surprising decision for the FOMC to cut rates by 50 basis points for the first time since 2008. Some individual stocks on watch here include Mobileye. This one making new high days off of that number. Intel saying that they actually don't have any plans to divest their stake in Mobileye, which actually contradicts a Bloomberg report from earlier this month. We also have here DJT, this is Trump Media and Communications. This one down on the day still, but definitely off of its lows. Their lockup period for Donald Trump to be able to sell his shares is reportedly set to expire today. So DJT definitely on watch here, guys.
We got a bit. Okay, I was like, what just happened there? That's what just happened. We like that one right there. Apple up to 227.60. Like I said, man, do not close the book on this name right here. We were talking about being red on it. Let's see what happens now with Apple as there it goes, man. Just trade. Honestly, Neil, we talk about this all the time, man. Just trade the names that you get that feel on. Both you and I, we battled so much with Apple here at 227. Like 4 times basically trying it. There it is. Wow. Good move up there for Apple. Stick with it as it just continues to go. My guy Neil over here, very frustrated. His charting seems to not be cooperating. And I said he's a better man than I because I could not put up with keep reloading my charts. That is for sure. But
well, you know, compared to the
good luck with that. Apple's $1.
Compared to the grade 2 drama that I had going on last night, it's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
I wish it was a story I could tell you guys, but it doesn't involve my kids, so I have to abstain from it. But there was some drama yesterday in our household involving grade 2. But the upward trend, so it is what it is. I'm going to be missing a little bit of data on my Nvidia chart on 3-minute. And apparently the 15 is not going to be obliging either. So going to look for this higher low, see if we can still get them. Glad Apple's going. I fought it and lost and I'm not in it anymore. We can see if I can join Nvidia. The other one that's making the power moves that we were mentioning, I mean, obviously you can see Tesla through that 235. It's still going. And clearly at this point, like it's a blue sky setup. If we want to... All right, I'm just going to go trade ideas in here. Oh, yeah, there you go. Now it's starting to fill in here. So you're not too far detached when you consider this 235 that you can't just get a dip into prior highs or join that trend. But I feel like it's Nvidia that I want to get back into. I wanted to make sure you guys saw that. Nvidia's got plenty of room to get to 120 if we're going to continue this trend. We did have it once. We do want to try jumping on VWAP. I'm a little bit cautious here with VWAP because the money fills have been underneath. When I say the money fills, the best longs have been under VWAP, and getting anchored to VWAP can be a bit of an issue. So 117.5 still looks pretty good, but 118 holding out. And then if the market's going higher like this and Intel can't break, I really do have to consider if we fail VWAP here, that's just trend continuation for potential short. So everything kind of looks a little bit better for me. Going to get back on over to Nvidia because I feel like that should be the next trade, regardless of what the chart looks like. This 118 looking pretty solid. If we end up just taking out the top, you have room to 121. So a breakout has lots of room to work over there on Nvidia still. But I'm going to try and get in on VWAP. Down to Sky, PayPal not on your radar, looking good. Yeah, the payment name I liked, technically, did not set up. So I'm not going to sit there and catch a falling knife and affirm. It dipped right into that 45 and did not have a bid. PayPal trending higher. That looks very good. And then SoFi would have been the other one. And SoFi is not breaking 850. So I said SoFi needs to break 850 or I'm not interested. SoFi went to $8.48. And now it's getting back above VWAP. Okay. Was trying to go, but 850 was a level for me. I need to break that.
I mean, it's official now, finally. Now we're $1 in the money. I mean, there goes Apple. I mean, Apple just keeps on going higher. Obviously, we look over and we say we have 20% of what's left of our trade. So, too bad. But nice move up, man. I mean, we said that there was a 228 coming through. It came through. It's gorgeous, and it's fantastic. So we like that trade as well. And then again, the number one P&L name for me today will be this guy right here, Amazon, as that looks like that will continue to be a big trade to the upside as we were just holding out. We've never gotten stopped out yet today on Amazon. So good trading. We almost got stopped out. We talked about that quarter break right there. Give it a little bit more room. There goes Apple right now. I mean, you are really starting to break. I'm going to put an offer right now. Take a piece at the quarters. I feel like you got to do that. Take a piece out once it gets up to this level. So let's do that again. We've already tweeted this out. It's been a big play for us. Google's been a disaster, as I thought. This is the only stock we're red on. This has been a name here that I thought would go, and it didn't. So Google, unfortunately, now trying to find a base down there. I mean, I still like the stock, but we can't like it if it's doing this. So trade relative strength, not weakness. This name's been weak. The market's basically where it was at open now, and Google's still down about 2 points there, right? So it was opening at 164, down to 162 right now, and actually looking worse. So yeah, not in love by any stretch with this stock. So it's Google. It's not fantastic. All right, Palantir.
Another one.
We're out. We'll look to get
Another one.
It should say like more shares. But we'll look to get more shares if it does break a little bit lower. But there's the out right there at 90s. I mean, if we're buying this bottom and getting out at the top, I have to think that would be a good opportunity there. So that is what we're doing. Good take on Apple, it looks like. We said that we had less. We said we only had 20%. Now we have 10% left. You saw me take that out. Generally, that's how we'll do it. So far, so good on that one. Amazon's a little bit better of a position here, but okay, 40s. I'm going to take another piece out. There we go. We'll take a 39 out there. Ring the register again. Props up on that one for bigger trades happening on names that we like, right? I mean, right now you're into AMD. We talked about that.
AMD just took 50s,
yep,
55s.
Like that trade.
So it continues to go higher. AMD, like we said, it was above all resistance, which was definitely not the case with, wow, what the heck is that way? Okay, so let's just go to the 15-minute chart here. It was above all that resistance. It's still breaking out. The initial breakout gave you a move into 155, and then it stalled. So the second breakout at this high at 155, I'm just liking the longs in here on advanced micro devices. I think we want to keep playing it to the upside. Nvidia is not really taking out the top, so I think it's a little bit of a disappointing one. I still feel like Intel should be a short, and I've been balking at it this entire way. But it still will not hold above VWAP. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. Tesla's a moonshot, but we kind of been, the focus has been on AMD. Google was like almost an immediate, it sucks. But it's been AMD, Nvidia, and then Apple, which I wasn't able to hold. I tried Apple and battled with it a few times, and then eventually ends up going. But Apple, for me, I'm actually still sitting on the bid where I tried to take it. Tried to take it that last time, and there you can see the issues that I'm having. So I tried to take it that last time. I just canceled the bids now off that 217, 227. It's now continuing to go higher. So if I'm going to join the trend, I'd have to dip buy in there, but you're still breaking out on advanced micro devices, so we're going to hang on to this. Looking for 156, next level up. I think there's room on the daily on AMD to 160, but I don't think it's going to get there just yet. That's probably just a trend into 160 if this market can hold up.
I'm still in the same positions, man. I mean, I got some more out on Amazon as we kept up to the 50-period moving average. Apple is just like, huge mover, man. I was going to say another name here, Mara, because I was looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going higher right now. IBIT's near the highs, and Mara's near, and if not breaking right now, the lows. So this is not making too much sense to me.
Mara's relatively
right now,
weak,
and whenever that's the case, I don't like to look at it too much. So for me on Mara right now, I would think it's a short, to be honest with you, breaking below this 1570 area. But it's Bitcoin still holding 63 and doing fine. So that's my thing right now. If you look at IBIT, I might just short Mara if there is shortable shares available. I'm sure there
usually yes.
So yeah, Mara's broken below 1580 because IBIT's still holding. What if Bitcoin loses as well? But then I think Mara is a trouble spot for us or for anybody trading it. So yeah, I think we can go short Mara at this level. And I'm going to try it, but not for too long. We do know that it is a sensitive name. So, all right, well, someone else just punched short. Come on, man. Wait for your boy. What's up with that? Come on, man. For everything I've done for you guys, you just go ahead and whack that thing down 5 cents just as I'm saying I'm getting in. All right, well, you made me pay 71s. So we'll pay 71s right there for it. We should have been 75s. We'll wait there again. Hopefully that will come back for us and give us a little bit more there. 75s on Mara. But hey, there it is, Patrick. I mean, we just say we're going to go short and the thing drops about 6 or 7 cents. I hope it continues to go lower for anybody that's short. We're short right now. Take advantage of it a little bit here if we can. But right now, it's a nice trade. I think so anyways, there on Mara. We called the short. We take the short. The short is trying to work. So we'll give it a little bit more here. This is just a name counter to what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin breaks 63. I think this one does have a downside move. So 1585 if we're wrong. How about that? That's where we'll sit. Take 10 cents or so worth of a hit on Mara if that's the case. So we'll wait to get some more up here. But right now, Mara trying to work itself out. I'm going to try a short and give it to 1585. So I can actually just put that stop in right now to show everybody. And if you guys want to run my stop, go ahead and do that as well. But right now, we are really singing a fine tune on these NASDAQs long, man. It is Apple continues to go higher. It is Amazon that just went through the roof as well for a 60-cent winner. So $1.30 in the money on Apple, 70 cents now on Amazon. And how many times did we buy this dip? A lot is the answer. So far, so good here as we get ready to rock. Yeah, the market's trying to get back to trying to get back into the highs here. I have my first short of the day. So right in at VWAP on Intel. I said if you keep on making lower highs at some point, if you think it's a short, you should just be in the short. So resistance obviously at 21.25. If you can't see that, there's been a seller at that price. When it got back underneath 20s this last time, I took 19s short. If it breaks out that quarter, I am going to get out of it. AMD and so Nvidia bounced off VWAP. And AMD just made it to the $0.50. There's a few dark pool wicks which have come in on some dips that it'd be it'd be great if they were real. This is not. Nvidia never broke 118. I was sitting there on level 2. It just held VWAP. That's not an actual wick. So you're dreaming if you think you could have just got 117.80 on Nvidia. But it is trying to go back in higher. So Nvidia and AMD long and Intel short seems weird, but then Intel's Intel. And you know what else is happening with this market coming back to the upside? Hey, Micron, which was the worst chip name on the planet a few minutes ago, just broke VWAP. We always talk about this for VWAP-shaped recoveries or V-shaped recoveries. When you have something like this, if you're able to break back out the top, you've trapped a you-know-what ton of shorts. And so if Micron does that, I'm going to like this group a heck of a lot better, and even maybe specifically Micron going in there. I was thinking about Mara. I know you're in it, but Mara, I wanted it 1670, but you probably need to short it at the open. It's the same downward trend and even bigger than what I'm seeing over in Intel. So I like the relative weakness there. I kind of like this in the VWAP. I can't argue with it. MSTR, I thought was more of a long idea, and you can see the difference. MSTR trending up, Mara trending down. This is what you should be doing, looking for relative strength, relative weakness. So a couple of chip names that look relatively strong to me, and AMD and Nvidia. A couple of names that look relatively weak is what you should be short. Things like Mara,
things like Intel. And CD Roofing wants to know what's up with Tesla. That's what's up with Tesla. 239 just continues to go that high. It's silly because I was willing to take the break yesterday on Fed, but I wasn't taking the break there today on Tesla. Is what it is, but you got to move on to the next. So AMD, as I said, it's clearing through, trying to get to the next dollar level. And same thing with Nvidia. Nvidia now up at 118.75. It's some offers it has to chew through. And Nvidia's top, ooh, that chart's the same thing. Nvidia's top right now, 119.25. So it's trying to get back into the highs. If it fails 119 again, I'll just get out of it. I have no issue sort of ringing the register. Don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. If they're selling this 19 level, then we'll just jump out and take the profit.
So yeah, we were talking about Bitcoin breaking through 63,000, and that didn't happen, did it, right? So we got run there on the top for Mara. We're holding on a little bit. We still are short now. We're short now 86s. I'm going to put a little bit of a bid here. We'll get something out at 80s. But we should have, I mean, obviously, we picked the top. Like, we get taken out basically right at the top. So I just got right back in there and was like, nah. I mean, to get stopped out at the level that we were like, this is the level, and then it just drops in 10 cents again. So we're still short on this name, and we're going to wait to see if it does do anything. Apple, we just took another piece out. Honestly, $1.70 now in the money on Apple. I'm going to go over to the ye old account today, and I believe, and get some out because Apple is just another huge runner. We talked about Amazon getting that vacation level. Apple's already there. We had bought this name last at 170 in our sort of our trading account, not our long-term account. So I'm going to trade out of it at some point. Apple right there. Super cycle or not, you're right back to this 230 level. And what a banger that was, man. It's going to be a good one there today, needless to say. All right, so Mara, look at this drop in on Mara. Come on, man. You know, our average price was like 79 or something on that trade. So unfortunately, we did punch out there at the top. Now we're short back at 86. But just to give you guys an idea, that's too bad. That is really too bad that happened. But, you know, we're short the name. We're back into it at 16 cents in the money. Good trade there. Unfortunately, we did have the wrong stop. But wrong stop or not, it's props because there it goes down now, 15 cents. Thank you, Rob, again. What a savior one more time for this guy. Thank you, Rob. Oh, wow. That is a maximum Java rate.
Good job not spilling any of that walking over.
Look at this. Stay there, my guy. Look at that. It's like right to the top. Creme up on there, too.
You got to get through the security door. I think you got to make sure you're not spilling.
I'll probably just finish a third of it. Like I never finished it all anyways. So good trade there on Mara. Let's see if it goes lower. I think it's worth holding out for this, man. $2 in the money, Apple, 50 cents now. So on Amazon, we only have 5% left actually on Amazon because we get this VWAP trade. So we are getting very, very light on everything right now here today. The mistrade for me, we have Tesla written down on the sticky note. And the problem is that we didn't get to it. So I didn't have that stop in there. That was like the only stop long that I pretty much had triggered all morning. And we didn't even put it in. Right there, 235. It would have never gone against you. It would have been fantastic. And we would have been singing a completely different tune today had we had that, but we don't. Nice move up there for Amazon. Congratulations to the guys behind us that do have it. But right now we have Mara. We're looking for that. We have Apple and Amazon. So far, so good day. But unfortunately, not good there as well for Tesla, but congratulations to all the longs. I see Nvidia at high today. Aren't you long?
The chips are flying. Yeah. The NASDAQ just took the highs, I think, by maybe a tick or two.
Yep.
Nvidia is about to take its high. So we break a new high of the day at 119.20. When that happens, I'm trailing underneath 119. It's AMD, I think, is a better hold at this point. It's just a little bit stronger. The first time the break didn't go, but it's already through 156 and churning higher on ye old. That's a monthly chart. Let's put up a daily chart there. There we go. On the daily, you got 160. So I think you've got some room into 160, but we'll just take it dollar to dollar here as the NASDAQ wants to continue to go higher. So we're trailing right here on Nvidia now that it made a fresh high, and AMD, we're holding on through. I just want to look, after we break this, I want a new trend, and when it sets a new trend up, I want the trend break to get out. Oddly enough, the market goes higher, and Intel still can't even stop me out of the short. I'm short at 21s. 20.5 actually is my price, giving it to the quarters. But let's go to the desk to take care of some business.
This part of the show is brought to you by Trade the Pool. Becoming a funded trader means trading with the firm's money instead of your own. At Trade the Pool, you'll first complete an evaluation by hitting profit targets while managing risk. Once you pass, you get access to up to $260,000 in buying power. You keep up to 80% of your profits, and the firm covers the risk. It's the perfect way to trade big without risking your own funds. Ready to become a funded trader? Join Trade the Pool. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description.
Thank you very much there, Adara. Shout out to Trade the Pool. Again, if you want to, there's an advantage to being a prop trader trading someone else's money. And a lot of it has to do with the importance of internal discipline versus external. And the truth be told, when you trade someone else's money, you kind of have to worry about the internal discipline a little bit less when you start in, so it eases you into it because you're trading based on their rules. And so therefore, you're not solely relying on yourself. That's one of the reasons why Trader TV Live works so well, because we're here with a community where we can all keep each other accountable. When you're trading by yourself, you're accountable to yourself. You got to be really, really a stickler for following your plans, and it's a lot harder to do. I've always had, a risk manager, people to talk with that have helped me. So just to go back over it, we traded through the high on Nvidia. This is the high of the day, everybody. It is. And then it did not hold above just now, so trailed back underneath it to get out the second time. First time we bought the dip 117.5, this time 118 quarters. We're still holding on to AMD, which continues to climb higher. And then Intel looks like it just broke some resistance. So the one stock we had short, I'll zoom it out here, just broke out that local lower high and is trying to join the party to the upside. So I don't want to fight it. You got to be careful shorting things when the market's making a rounded bottom like this, because the true level for Intel, for the fade, is a long way away.
Wow, the market, eh?
And if we're going to get there, you don't want to be short into that level. You want to wait for it to get to that level to go to the upside. So I'll be patient when it comes to Intel. We can always find it short somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm
Nvidia highs of the day.
That, my guy.
Obviously, AMD at the highs of the day. And then Tesla 240 looks like it's incoming. Joining this party is going to be a bit tricky. I think we're going to have to wait this one out to see if we can get into the Tesla party. And Ilab in the chat saying MSTR, is it a buy? Well, the chart would suggest yes. I said when we were going over the crypto names, 143 on MSTR is what had to go. And the reason for that, I'll just zoom in. This isn't split adjusted. Obviously, you guys can tell. 143 was a local high on the daily. It's cleared that. I think it's got pretty decently clear sailing until about $150. But let's see what is going in small cap world with Adara.
Screw small caps.
Here for the IWM, still up almost 2% right now. Definitely removed from its highs, but keep in mind, Russell 2000 was one of the indices here that made the biggest reaction when we had that 50 basis point cut yesterday at 2 p.m. Trying to make a bit of a recovery now. So Russell 2000, IWM, absolutely on watch, as are a lot of these small cap gappers. We have TBIO, this is TELUS's bio here, up about 150% right now. No news on this one. They do have a bit of a smaller float here, about 1.1 million shares on a $2.4 million market cap, announcing on September 10th that they're actually looking to delist from the NASDAQ as of September 30th. So not many days left to trade TBIO. We also have here ZEO. This is Zeo Energy, currently up almost 200%. No news on this one either. Bit of a smaller float, around 2 million shares from what I was seeing. And last but not least, Galmed Pharmaceuticals, GLMD. This one has been gapping up for the last few days, currently in a bit of a range, up almost 100% here, announcing some plans to broaden its drug development with 2 additional programs over the next 2 years. In terms of info on this one, you do have a float of around 624,000 shares, about 7.5% of that going to be short. So larger short float, very small float for GLMD. So many small caps on watch, guys.
Oh, so many small caps.
The absolute gall of that stock to be up 75% is unacceptable. How dare you?
How dare this happen too? BPI goes over to me. He's like, Bitcoin's going up and Mara's going down. I'm like, yeah, but hold on, we're 20 cents in the money. I got to be careful here because this coffee is going to be a situation. Did he even put?
That was the situation the second he
Man, that was
brought
a
it out here.
situation. I don't know what this guy.
You don't want to spill that. That's
I don't know what this guy's doing, to be honest with you. All right, so far, no, we love Rob. All right, so there it is. Let's go. Let's just keep on subscribing, keep on doing all of that, keep on drinking, keep on having some hydration. But there goes Mara to the downside. We called this. It's a good one. We like this move. Oh, there's Rob right there. What's up, Rob? Nice move to the downside right there. We are buying more Amazon. Amazon goes, what's up, Obi, my guy right beside me. We like that Obi's here. Let's hit the hot dog cannon because now you're going to get some elite trading, no pressure, on the midday show now with Obi. So that's going to be leveled up right there. We thank Obi for filling in for, Sharif today. So thank you to Sharif for everything he's done. I've talked about that with him. All those lessons that he does have been absolutely fantastic. So I want to give a big shout out to Sharif there today. Not feeling well, under the weather. But you know what? No Sharif or not, it's not just $1 right now for Apple, but it's $2 right now for Apple. So hopefully you guys are rocking with me here right now today. Neil's got it. What a good trade there on Nvidia, still with AMD as well. Yeah, no, AMD. We talked about, I haven't traded either one today, but I did like the AMD look, that is for sure. But I love the Amazon look, man. Buy, more buys here. I just trusted my damn self. And this is the one thing that I talk about all of the time. If you're gonna mark down a trade, you take the trade. So we liked 190 on Amazon. Despite its travels to the downside, all that did was get us longer down there. So we like that. And now that it's back up here, let's take some more out. Nice out there at 28. We're waiting at 30. Well, here, that's it. We got out. All right, now we've got filled at 28s. Now we'll wait for, just making sure my next order is at 38. I don't know why we're in these 8s today, 88, 28, 38. So if that comes up to the high side, oh, that's why, because it's the high of the day. So all right, so we're waiting at 38. Sometimes I make some sense there. So that's going to be something that we're looking at right now for that trade. So 28s just out now on Amazon, looking to get out 38 right now. And honestly, all the damn board on Apple. Next stop, 2:30. See you then. We are getting lighter. I already told you we have about now maybe 10, 15% left of our initial position, but it's starting to go, not stopping. Very similar there. Intel Neil's in now. Mara right here now is at its day low. We'll take a fill there at 65 and see if it can't get even a little bit lower than that right now. So, man, oh man, do I like coming in every day and being in front of everybody here and trading with Neil and Obi and Adara and the family that we have. So good thoughts, good vibes. And there's Amazon right now, right back. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what kind of a thing we're on or whatever, but it is starting to real feel good, some of the trading lately. So yesterday was a monster day, and it looks like we're going to try to relive those good feels here today. But there's another 50 cents on Amazon, and everything's starting to work right now. Mara's the one.
We just broke out another fresh high again. So there was a bit of a reversal on AMD, so you're going to see me out of it. Didn't quite break the trend, but it's starting to make another one in here. And once that happened, just go to my chart for a second. Yeah, once it made this trend, higher highs, higher lows on the 3 after the extended move, it kind of wicked the top and came back underneath, so I jumped out. That's the idea. And it just looks something like this. It's something like that. And once it did that wick, I'll look for a re-entry on the bigger trend line, which would be a 156. I'm going to get rid of that. Doesn't really matter. Intel looks like it tried to wick me out, which it did. Just try and then did. I'm like, okay, I'll jump back in and give it to the 30 level, but I don't want to die on that sword unless it's either the lower high, which it's challenging now, or it's going to be all the way up at 21.7.
All the way up.
So I think it has a chance to get there with the strength that the market has, but I want to get this cluster. If this is a weak stock or the relatively weak, I want to make sure we take a shot at it one more time. And then I know we're out of Nvidia. I took my profit on Nvidia, and it continues to break higher. It's the 120 that's now going to. Why is this still AMD?
I'm still long 220.
Okay, so that's still AMD. It's the 120 that's going to concern me on Nvidia, but we're out of AMD in here, looking for another dip buy to get back into the trade. You can see what's about to happen with my chart. Now frozen one more time, so I'll have to restart them again.
Okay, that's fine. I was just talking with Obi there, and he's waiting. I mean, I'm not going to ruin it. We all know that he's looking for the play on the back side of this trade for Apple. I know. It's Obi, please, man. You have the mic in a half hour, all right? You can talk all about your backsides and everything. All right, so 229.50. We're just playing around here. So Obi, we know what, and I think this is the thing. we talked about this before, right? And it's about being comfortable with the style of trade that you present with, right? And I mean, for Obi right there, let's kick another piece out. Waiting for certain things, not getting excited, overly excited about trades that potentially aren't there. And I mean, that's all that you have to do. Trade when the trade is there. I know that sounds absolutely easy to do. Sometimes that's one of the hardest things to do. And I did it right here. And what I'm saying is, I wasn't sure, and I'm just proud of this trade because we had written down Amazon. We talked about this being the #1 trade of the day for me, and it's been that. It is now my P&L #1 stock is going to be Amazon, and it's written right on here. And what did we like, everybody? We liked the 190 break. But the thing is that we had to wait. We had to wait for it to come through right there. So there it is right there, Amazon. This is the missed trade of the day easily. The Tesla long at 235. It's like the only break out of all of this. Like we even say break long, like it's so crazy. Dip buys for Alibaba, gapping into 190. That's not a breaker trade. That's not a break. Palantir, but Palantir was, mwah, that was a good one today. And then Google was 164 break higher. So I did have a Google trade there to break higher, but we never got to 164 on Google. So the only break that should have activated for me was Tesla, but we were not on it, so we missed that trade. One more out here for Amazon. Why not? I am not going to wait for the old reversion signal from my guy here to the left. We're just going to keep on getting out of Amazon. And there's that 190 that we talked about on the sticky note. The #1 trade for me, we had to take it. It broke higher, so we did exactly that. It's Amazon. It's fantastic today. We'll be red on Mara because we got stopped out there. We're going to wait to see if that can work out. Everything else is screamer, man. Apple positive, Amazon positive, Google red, Palantir. Palantir. I mean, look, this is all right. It's Adara. What's up?
Bitcoin following up its 3-day red streak with 3 days here of decisive bullish action, completely taking out that previous move to the downside here, continuing to hold off that 54,000 level, which is pretty interesting, but now forming a new base at another resistance support area here, that 58,000. Let's see now what we can do with BTC as we try to push above 64,000, which was another level that was interesting, most recently rejecting here at the end of August. So we'll have to see what this does. Bitcoin, of course, getting a bit of an assist from yesterday's decision for the FOMC to raise our cut rate, by 50 basis points, a little bit more than was expected by some commentators there. Bitcoin up by about 7%. As we said here, let's see what we do at 64,000 right now, just below 63.5. Ethereum holding on to 2,400 quite nicely, up almost 6%. So a lot of nice boosts here, up about 10%. We have Ripple, Dogecoin, Toncoin here, all up by about 4%. Cardano up 7%, Avalanche up 14%. Not going to go through every cryptocurrency name here, but as you can tell, very strong for crypto tokens and currencies off that FOMC announcement, guys.
Yeah, certainly. And look, the market is continuing to go higher. The trend is your friend till the end when it bends, so Obi says. But it's not bending right now. If anything, shout out to Obi, there he is. You can see him. If anything, you're just holding the trend. So at this point in the day, it's 10:30. You still have plenty of time in the day. I'm not taking any more top breaks. I think you wanted them early. It's just a matter of if trend breaks, wait for big support. So if a trend breaks on AMD, 155 or 155, 154.50, which are the two prices we traded before, those are the ones I'm going to look for. On Nvidia, it'll be a similar sort of story in here. Although it still has room to $120, I think certainly you could pull back into VWAP or maybe even the 119. The one that got away, Sean mentioned, being Tesla, it's testing 240 now. So the good thing about Tesla, like, it could give you a fail breakout now. And then if you look at this early break at 235, that's where I want to look at this break, these lower highs in here. And then I think a lot of times you want to have a trend line that's a line of best fit. And the line of best fit is the clear one that's holding. I don't really give a darn which one of these two it holds. But the first one that happens would be here, and it would be about 238 for a bit of, 239 even, just underneath 239, 238 high, let's call it, for the first initial dip buy. But it's failing 241 as we speak. I'm not going to try and I'm not going to try and buy any highs at this point. Like, I've gotten out of the two longs we had in Nvidia and AMD, and I want to get some dip buys on those two names. Maybe add Tesla to the bucket because it was a missed opportunity. And we're going to wait for Intel to get to 2170. If that's going to be the level, that's going to be the level. The only other thing that's outside of the pocket, or in the pocket, I should say, DJT, which I quite frankly forgot about. DJT is back underneath VWAP and just chilling out under 15 bucks. So if this one wants to oblige us with the short that we didn't take right away, and that would simply be underneath the $15 level, well, VWAP's here at 15. I'd pay for locates. All I need to see it do is hold on this little bounce to the upside, hold a line, short it on the way back down on DJT. So I don't care what the market's doing with regards to this stock. It's doing its own thing. The lockup expired today. Doesn't mean it has to dump, but now you got a double top and a trend down. So VWAP fade would be the next available trade for me on DJT as I see AMD starting to pull back. That's why I'm looking up here. If AMD gives me that dip, now we are looking for a dip into prior support. That was at 155. If we can get it, if it's a dip, big one, but the market's not stopping. Not at all.
We are, no, the market is a good one. We are reloaded now in Mara up here. We're going to give it to 116, or sorry, 16. Keep thinking about these 100 handles all over the place. All right, so Apple, I don't know, man. I don't know if Obi just saw that. We kind of went for a little jog up there and maybe had stopped. I don't see like an exhaustion candle or anything on the 1 minute chart, but yeah, man, I offered up there now. I'm going to be sitting in and around 230 to get out of my last piece there of Apple and then look for some kind of a man to show up. I think you believe his name would be the reversion man. And if that could come in there at 230, why do I act so crazy every time I see Obi like talking like that? All right, so we'll wait to see what happens there for Apple at that level 230. I have like 5% left of this trade, maybe even less than that. So look, we got a lot out there at 228 as we were approaching the highs of 227. Like, it's not like we got a lot out for 50 cents. We took a lot of shares. We battled this thing like 3, 4, 5 times. We both talked about that. And then eventually it went, which is great to hold on to them. But you got to get out when this rip starts to happen. So that's what we're doing. Just a quick little, we're short at 94 here on Mara. I'm just going to wait. I mean, Bitcoin is really rocking right now. I mean, congratulations to all you, crypto heads out there that believed in this run. Do not forget, though, as I see on the screen, please do not forget. Please do not forget. Yeah, hodling, baby. Don't forget to like and subscribe right now. You guys are going to hate me because you're like, why is this guy talking like that, but he's short Mara? But at the end of the day, I'm here to make money. And making money is one of the specialties around here. So we'll see if we can continue to do that right now. Good pullback there in Apple. Amazon, NEPA, no pullback really at all, but we are just emptying out the clip as they say, or nobody says, right now on Amazon. If we break back down below this 190.50 area, we'll take out one more piece. So we're going to watch out for that one coming through right now. But really, the biggest position that I have notionally right now, even though it's only a $16 stock, is Mara. So we got lighter on Amazon. Well, that might not be true. Amazon could be close. Lighter on Amazon, very light on Apple. But right now, looking for a pullback here in Mara. And we're bidding 84s, and we just got those. So that's another dime piece right here. Mara's going to turn green for me. You watch. Let's get this meme back into the downside here. If Bitcoin fails at 63.5, like it's trying to do, where shall Mara stop? I mean, I'm looking at, honestly, low 70s. If we can get some breath down there, we'll take some out. So let's go low 70s for Mara. I'm still bidding 50s though, 1580, sorry. And then we'll look to low 70s after that. So far so good on a reloaded bid there for Mara.
M-A-R-A. And do that trend line.
And by bid, I meant offer, of course.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course you meant
I'm
offer.
short.
Yeah, you are short. That makes sense.
I remember my first time I started here, I wasn't even sure about what long or shorts were.
Which is
still not.
It's hilarious. When people start out here, it's like one of the things they teach, and I know it was in the first 3 days, you had to really, really be careful with the hold, the bid, and the ask for novice traders. Like, you'd hit the wrong key a lot, and we can all cop to that. It is what it is when you're young and you haven't really traded before. But that trend line on AMD, so we drew that little bit of a line of best fit. Well, that was probably a good place to go short, but I wasn't looking shorts on AMD. So I'll just get that one out of the way. I was never looking for a short here in AMD. Ideally, what ends up being a bit of a coincidence is the exact place where I would have trailed it ended up the exact place we got out. So whether I had held it for a break of 157, I would have taken it out when we lost that trend anyways. And it's not really dipping all that far. It's dipping into 56 here. So it looks like it's making the lower high into 56. I don't like that kind of a trend break. Usually I want the reversion a bit deeper than that. So I'm still thinking about the 155 level, or you can just take out the top. You can trap shorts here and then take out 157 is the other way that this can always play. So DJT, we're in off of VWAP. This dip in the market is also an opportunity, I think, in Tesla. As it's trying to, and then as soon as I'm able to even get over to Tesla, you can see Tesla's already bouncing 50 cents. Like Tesla is mooning. Like it catches a bid and it's just ripping very, very quickly. So it's still putting in higher highs and higher lows, but I'm patient with the dip buys here. I don't want to get in just yet on AMD. And Nvidia, that curled already. And I think this one's headed to VWAP a little bit more rapidly than the others, although you probably have to ignore VWAP on that chart because it's missing so much data.
Never ignore
on the 15,
VWAP.
It's still got a decent trend going. Now I got those wicks in there. On the 15, it's still trying to hold on to its trend of higher lows, but that breaks at 118.65. If it loses that, then we're waiting for 118. We're waiting for 117.5. So patient with any dip buys is what I'm going to be doing here, and then we're just only short DJT at VWAP and $15. I waited all day for it, and it's right back where it started.
Yeah, that's well, isn't there supposed to be that press call? Is that happening? That's today, right? The DJT, or he's not? Is he planning on speaking today, Donald Trump?
I thought there was something.
Yeah, I thought there was too. So we'll wait for that.
I'll double check.
Amazon almost came out a little bit there. I didn't actually put the stop. I was trying to watch it. That was just a quick wick down there on the futures, or on Amazon. So we did not punch out there at 190.50. We were going to try to get out of a little bit more. Apple really retracing back off that 230. We just have a small piece, so we've sort of warned about that right now. I think about getting out maybe in and around 229, but it's such a small piece. And then right now, not super pleased with this trade, so we'll put some more bids out on Mara right now. We're only short at 94. We'll take out like 5% at 88. If we can get that fill, we'll be on a paying gateway. Hopefully it'll get down through and we won't have to pay to get out of 5%. There it is. So we get that fill there on 88 and get paid to do that. So far, so good here. I mean, what a difference. Yesterday, I think we had two, maybe three green traders. Today, we have one green trader. So a big one red trader. Big congratulations to everybody back there. Congratulations, Neil, myself, Obi, everybody that's trading today. It's been a good day, right? Don't we always talk about this? When the market seems to be going upside,
it's always better.
Right. It gives those breaks a chance to go like Apple. It gives those great trades. I mean, Tesla.
Problem with downtrends?
Yeah.
Is there's always a slew of people on the trading floor catching bottoms on downtrends. Yeah. On uptrends, you're much more likely to just stay in your long stocks.
Tesla's the number one stock. I mean, these guys, it breaks 235
Tesla,
and bang.
everyone goes long that
right?
stock.
I mean, Apple breaks 227 and bang, although that trade was a little more difficult.
Google's back above VWAP, by the way.
What?
I know, no, just in you have to.
Checks notes. It's not. What is VWAP on this anyway?
So it's at 162.60 is VWAP.
Okay.
Now, obviously, my plan of action, you can see the first line of support, right? So I got long in front. It broke the first line of support. Now here's where I probably should have gone back to, but it was dumping and other things were working. You're trending up in the chip names. Why would you try to catch a falling knife? But it does end up holding. And what's interesting on the other side of that trade, when it gets back above this second support line, you could have been long trend up. And then when it broke the original one back up, you could have just been long anywhere above it. I'll play back into VWAP if it wants to oblige, but I need to see it hold. It's still too weak for me. 2% is not an average 2% today. Let's go to Sector Watch with Adara because we should have done that 2 minutes ago.
I guess it's not too surprising here that basically all of these sectors are bright green. Tons of strength, of course, in these technology sectors following the FOMC decision yesterday. Finance also pretty strong as well. Health technology a bit more mixed. There is a lot of green here, but we have Merck and J&J to the downside. Retail trade with the exception of Walmart, very strong. Producer manufacturing, energy minerals, consumer durables, consumer services, process industries, all decisively green. Now, in terms of the red sectors, we do have some weakness coming through here in utilities, almost right across the board here. Same with consumer non-durables. Communication is also interesting here. We have T-Mobile to the upside, but both Verizon and AT&T to the downside. Let's see how this shakes out here if we get a reversion or if we get even more sectors sharply green, guys.
We'll just shake it off, shake it off. Okay, right now, shaken, not stirred. Amazon break. So we did get that out. We were watching that. We said we would get some out if it broke through 190.50s there. So we did that. We have a small piece left there. Great trading on Apple. I don't even know. Did what's his name grab this? Obi? No.
Right.
Oh yeah, he is short a little bit of Apple now. Okay, he'll talk about that in a couple minutes when he is live on the air with Miss Adara during the midday show. I don't know. Treef's not here. I'm not sure what the lesson is. It's been
Trading, probably.
Yeah, trading related. Hopefully, it's been rounded bottoms.
Of course it is. Of course it is when Obi's on. Of course it is. What else would it be?
Come on. No, that's not what it is. I'm not. Come on. The guy always talks about that, and then now that happens to be the day that he's there. Okay. All right. Yeah, interesting. Anyways, we'll talk about rounded bottoms, apparently, if you didn't hear, is what's going to be talked about here on the midday show. So hopefully they'll use some of those strategies. They'll show you some in the wild if they find them, and otherwise just...
Not today, because today's all breakouts. Like, I don't think...
Well, you could find it. No. I mean, the market's pulling back.
rounded...
I mean, the market's pulling back. You'll find some bottoms.
Everything's just kind of straight up.
That is true, and we like that when that happens. Yeah, so again, 10:44 right now. I will tell you what's for lunch when I get it, so I don't have it yet. Mara, all right, it's having a little bit of a day right now. Okay, well, we just put some 86s there. It's bouncing off the 50-period moving average. So I just want to say we loaded up. We had the most shares we ever did there on that, not ever, today. On that reload back up there, 2 VWAP at 16. So let's get some orders ready to go. We did just put that out there on Mara. We did put that bid there at 1580. So hopefully we'll get it filled down there. If it comes through, great. If not, well, we will wait for that. Mara now coming back in. We're bidding 1580, then 1575, and then breaker 19. Because hello, Bitcoin, like where are you at right now, Bitcoin? I don't know if Kathy's coming in to save this or what, but we're still down to 63. It's a great move on BTC. But come on, Mara, did we just get that fill? Yes, we did get that fill. Mara right now, we could, I mean, from having a bad trade early to really making it back, and there it goes, man. It is a hot dog cannon kind of a day for us here as Mara now going back into the downside. We said low 70s. We are bidding 75 right now coming in. Oh, guess what? We do see the super chat. I'll leave that maybe for Neil because right now we just got it. Okay, I'll take it. I mean, yesterday though was steak. Actually, okay.
Did you have any? I didn't have any.
No, I didn't have any. Was it good? Ooh, Fabian saying it was great.
Wow.
I have no idea what you said, but I know I'm not gonna repeat. I don't know if what you said is what you said.
Muck that up.
Muck that up. Oh, okay. My bad. Mukbang, a Korean term.
I thought muck that up would mean you screw something up, you mess it up. Not that you eat.
Yeah. Okay. Today. All right. Fabian, I'm trying to do something. Let's rewind. All right. What for lunch, everybody? All right. Grilled rustic sweet Italian sausage. I think there's a chance here. Braised tomatoes with braised tomatoes and vegetables. I like it.
Whoa.
And then Matt Hasselbeck potatoes with butter and thyme right now. And the salad has some clementines apparently on it, some sweet summer radish.
Won a Super Bowl, didn't
apparently.
What's wrong? Dara apparently is not liking that lunch. I had zero issues with that lunch. Although, what's wrong with?
Oh, she's not a fan of the sausage.
What? So thank you for the super chat, sports fanatic in here. He's like quickly change subject. Help me out. Thank you for the $5 super chat here. I'll hit the like on that. Help me out what these guys do. Long means buying little bit late, expiry date. So we're not trading options. We're trading the actual equities. We're trading direct equity. So when we say we're going long, we are buying actual shares in the markets that we're trading. If I'm going short here on DJT, I am actually short the equity at $14.96. I'm buying back in here at the bottom of the range. Like it just got filled at 14.88, then we reloaded. So all of these trades are in the direct equity. Now, obviously, options are going to follow in a general sense where the market is going, but we're just trading the equity at the direct prices. If I'm long, I've bought shares in the stock. I'm selling to get back out. If you see green, that means I've bought. If you see red, like there's a win, there's a loss in the second half. We buy back in here at 155. We're taking shares out if it's red. If there's a down arrow that's purple, that means I've entered a short sell position in a stock. So the only thing, like I said, I'm in a short in DJT, so you can see the difference here. Purple means I have gone short, and it's the same thing for Sean. Like, we're short a stock, that arrow's purple. Buys are all the same, whether you're buying back out of a short or where you're buying to enter a long position. Speaking of long positions.
For all that talk there when you were talking.
What happened?
No. Obi has got the reversion on
Apple?
Right now. And Obi, I'm muted because I was talking with Obi, so that's what I was saying. I apologize for all that noise in the background there because I was talking with Obi because he's got $1 right now on that reversion from Apple. And he's funny because he said, Sean, you looked right over at me and said, I wonder if Obi's got this or whatever it was. And then that's exactly what he's got on. So there it is. Congratulations, Obi. Big time trading over there for that guy. And we're really proud of him, as we keep on saying over and over again. And that's what we do here, right? Good vibes, good feels. Congratulations to our guy, Obi. Continues to be something else. So we like him. Okay, Mara, 10 cents. Amazon, flat. Apple, pulling in. Not much else to talk about. Whoa, wait a second. Something else to talk about, yes. Amazon pulling back to VWAP. We have to buy this. We're just going to punch in recklessly right now into Amazon. Let's buy some more shares there. We bought it against this VWAP. Our out should be already... Okay. We're right now 189. Fabian likes the money thing right there. I like it too. 189.70 or so. Good little dip buy right there on Amazon because we are reloaded right there. Wow, look at that dip buy. We just went right over there, hit the hot dog cannon. What a day, what a day, what a day. Amazon will be PL number 1 for me, baby. But without any further ado, it is something about money that's talking with Adara at the desk.
The DXY getting its second doji candle in a row. As you can see here yesterday, we wicked all the way down to almost the 100 level here for the DXY before coming back and closing around that 101. Today we're slightly down in the day, but it's interesting enough. Today we have this wick into 100.5, which I've been talking about for a while here. Some clear support on the DXY. Now holding again just below that 101 level. So let's see what unfolds from here on out for that US dollar. Not a lot of economic data on watch for the rest of this week. We have Fed's Harker speaking at 2 p.m. tomorrow, so definitely keep an eye on that. We also have President Joe Biden speaking today at 1 p.m., so that could potentially move the U.S. dollar as well. Be aware of that. Some economic data earlier today. We had lower than expected existing home sales, higher than expected U.S. leading index change, so some mixed sentiment there with regards to some of that home and sentiment change data. Next week, though, of course, we do have a PCE on watch for Friday, so could be an interesting one. Fed Chair Jerome Powell also speaking next Thursday, guys.
Random shares, so it's hard to do it. We're just discussing stop orders here. We did have an Edge A problem, which was earlier, and we were just saying, like, if your stops or your gateways are on Edge A, sometimes if you get a disconnect from the market, the rule or what we have set up is that to like cancel everything until it gets figured out. So you don't have any pending orders. The minute there's like a break in the line, like the heartbeat stops, then it will cancel all of your orders. So if you guys are trading with us here at Real Trading, that resolved now, or
it looks like it's fine now. So the issue is resolved.
We just got stopped out on Amazon.
No, there was a moment where like I didn't get a fill on AMD, and I was like, oh, what the heck happened there? I thought I had an order. I wrote it off like, oh, I didn't have a stop order at that price to get long. And I just kind of punched into the stock. And then I noticed I had actually gotten a message from our risk manager saying Edge A was having issues. And when that's the case, all you do is flip to another gateway. I have like 3 stop orders that we can use. We have multiple gateways, so we can try them all. So still just in DJT. I guess we're not really dipping into 55 or VWAP here on AMD. It did break the trend, so I was looking for a trend break and then a reversion back into 155 or VWAP. I suppose that might not be happening. Nvidia, and again, ignore VWAP on my chart. It's going to be completely useless on this Nvidia chart. You can see it here on my black chart. I'll just use this one. It's not going to have, this one doesn't have my executions. I look at the other charts and I keep them black on the ones that I like. And for the show, we show you the white ones. Apparently, they're more clear. VWAP sits at about 118.25 on Nvidia. Now, that's just a coincidence that it happens to be the last place that we were long, but I'm going to look for VWAP retracements. I'm going to short something. It's still that's going to care about the market. Intel ran through the lower high where I was shorting it and lost, went right to the actual high of the day and reversed. And now it's already back at VWAP. This is still relatively weak in my books. I don't care about the 2%. I just care about the fact it went nowhere near yesterday's highs. So if I'm going to short a chip name, it's still only going to be Intel. And I guess playing off the highs, or, if we just break out the bottom, I'm down with that too. Like if this is going to take out lows before the market gets there, then I can get in that way as well. Still looks relatively weak as far as I'm concerned. And if it's going to stay, it's going to stay. And until it breaks out that high, we're going to stick with looking for shorts. Not going to enter into them just yet. Meta, you were saying you're looking to take some profits. On the Black Monday, I only dip bought a couple of things. I wish I could say I got absolutely everything, but on the personal account, Meta's one I'm going to think about ringing the register at lunchtime on, because it just made another fresh high, and I just made another fresh high. I want the cursor on there, and now you're really starting to extend. So what I'm going to do is if it gets back underneath 550, I'm going to take some profit on Meta, because you got a great opportunity on August 5th when this was it was $440, man. And then it held that, gave you 450s on a break. You could have had it the next day in the 75 range. The fact that it's gone this far, I think, is amazing for Meta. But I'm just going to trim a little bit for myself via a bit of a trailing stop in my personal account. Where is Nvidia? Still at 118.75, so it's not getting there just yet. AMD, as I said, it's not really anywhere close to VWAP. I want to give it a chance to grind down further before we get back into any kind of a long trade. Let me know what you guys are looking at. I know we've completely ignored a bunch of small cap stocks today, but I think that was the right decision, because when you have a day like this, the big gains have been in big cap tech. And when that happens, sometimes the other names go to the wayside, and that's just what it is. And we have to be able to trade where the action is going to be, and that's what we try to do here, with the exception of Tesla. I think Tesla was the only one that was a complete Tesla. They love some Tesla. I'm not chasing it up here. I think with Tesla, you want to look for something of a pullback. If you're not already in a short off 240, I think you're waiting for it to break down and give some kind of a long off VWAP. Or sometimes the opening range top looks good, and the opening range high is right in here, 237.5, 238. So a dip into that price looks good as well. DJT, I wish I could tell you it's doing something. It's not. It's a VWAP short. It's at VWAP. I've gotten one dip into the local bottom and then a reload, and that's it. And we can be patient enough for it to gravitate back down to this 1480 level for another level out here on DJT. It's already worked once. No reason why. If it's continuing to hold VWAP, we're going to continue to hold the short.
Yeah, I think I like all of those ideas. With only 4 minutes left to go, just a quick update on what we're doing here. So we have Mara. Mara just touched 70s, so we got out there. We're trying to figure that all out one more time here. We've been throwing some money back on Amazon. I mean, Amazon just came in again and just came out. So it is making the move down. We need to be very, very careful now about what we're doing. We don't really, the Apple position is such a small position. I'm actually waiting to get it reloaded down here in and around VWAP would be pretty nice if we get that. But the market is now trying to break lower. It's already up 2.5%. We could retrace a little bit here for sure until we find a level of, I don't know, not concerned, but a level that the market is happy with here. So we'll have to wait to see if there is anything happening right now. It looks like we want to still continue this downside move. So just on that note for Amazon, we've already seen it down here. So I feel like waiting for 189 is probably the best thing. Let's not just throw this money away like we did over the last 5 minutes, trying to catch that bottom. Be patient with this. I still like the stock. It's Amazon. We'll just wait to see if what exactly it wants to do here. So nice move down. Apple, Mara, we're still in. Bitcoin Bitcoin broke 63. Yeah, so Mara should be a lot lower than this, I think. But maybe we're just thinking incorrectly here with that play. So reload Mara, but not until we get back up. If that's going to be a trade, fine. I just don't know if it's going to be. So let's try to be as patient as we can maybe here with Mara, and then deal with it the other way around. So yeah, all right, that's what I'm doing now. I don't have really too many other ideas. I just want to wait for VWAP, and then hopefully that will come in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But and what I'm talking about for VWAP here would be the triple Qs. So if we can get the NASDAQ back in, I still want to go long. I just think we can travel a bit, right? So down into here into 20,000, I feel like that's a responsible level. Let's see if we get to that. It's going to be a good one. It's right now it's Mara that I'm looking at, and a TQ, hopefully a dip by opportunity coming.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to give only 2 minutes to go till we get the midday, and it's Midday Madness today via Sharif and well,
I know the short.
Sorry. Obi for Sharif and Adara. Thank you for the super chat as I chuckle here. JKL146. We appreciate the super chat. Anyone can look at it if you want to and answer that survey question. So yeah, short shorts. I'm not going to comment on it, but we appreciate you. We have a great community, everybody. We have a lot of fun. We talk some stocks. We try to trade. And everyone just tries to learn and get better every single day. So I was asked as well a couple of minutes ago, did I see like a bull flag on AMD? Yeah, absolutely. It was on the 5-minute chart, but the 3-minute chart's there's not going to be a huge difference if you're looking at a pattern like a bull flag where the up move is this strong. Yeah, the 5-minute and the 3-minute are going to show you the same thing. I'm not going to change. I could change it to a 5-minute chart, but I don't see the point in doing so. But you're trending down, and if you break this consolidation with the market pulling into the downside, I just want to be patient. I'd like to see it, break that channel down and give me VWAP, or break that channel up, and then we can go long out and about above it. I don't want to sit in position in the middle of the flag guessing which direction it's going to go. I'd much rather let it make the break, and then I just wait for my level after that breakdown. So if it makes a breakdown, I think we're going to get 155. If I short a chip name, I don't care anybody. It's just going to be Intel. It doesn't matter. Might be down on it, but it's also not doing anything today that suggests that it's very strong. Apple is very close to VWAP as well. I feel like that's going to be, whether it's AMD or Apple, pick one of the two. One of them is getting to VWAP, or both of them. I like them both at those levels. But it's already 11 o'clock, and as I said,
oh boy,
it's time to learn something about rounded bottoms. Although good luck finding them today. It's a lot of straight rocket ships. The rounded bottom, usually you're making a bottoming reversal pattern. Good luck finding those today, but I'm sure Dara and Obi will do their best.
We're long Apple again.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.